91.3. And you are most welcome to the big
event.
Okay, thanks, Sadiq. Were you the one on that recording?
Absolutely not.
No, okay, all right.
But
Okay, well, yes, this of course is the big event. I think this is the only time this year you're going to see Sadiq, Iffy, or Adu, Faith, and when he gets here, Joseph Faulkner all
Eventually.
together in the studio.
Eventually, I like that.
Eventually.
Yes, all six of us in the studio for the big event. I think this is the perfect way to round off all the conversations that we've had right here on Lagos Talks 91.3, because 2017 has been a very interesting year with remarkable stories, from internet shattering weddings to secret stashes of money that have figures that would keep you saying
Wow.
wow, wow, wow.
Chineke me.
Yes, of course, every incident this year was truly significant. I'd like to think that here on Lagos Talks, we covered as much of it as we possibly could in our different niches. But, of course, there are some stories that just keep on ringing. Now, right here on the big event, we all will be here bringing you what we think were some of the biggest stories and events of 2017. So I'm going to take a break and let everybody introduce themselves. So we'll start with the early edition.
Yes. I don't know. How am I supposed to do this intro? I don't really
Say
get
hi,
Hey,
Sadiq.
Moving on.
And after the early edition is the midday show.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Está bien, Iffy. Followed by the live drive. Hey, people.
Hey.
And then we fall into the suave man of the late hour.
Yeah, my name is Adu. They call me the suave man with the smooth voice.
But the show doesn't end on Friday.
It doesn't end on Fridays.
Because,
no.
of course, we do have the Saturday breakfast show with the one and the only Faith Duffy Joseph.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. All right,
We'll
thank
get
you.
there. We'll get there. Okay, of course, Jojo is not here, but the sports edition is, of course, a very, very big and valid part of Lagos Talks 91.3. So we will, of course, be giving you the top stories from there. Now, to follow us and be a part of the big event, the big conversation happening right now from 4 right down till 6, you need to be following us on our social media handles. Join the conversation on Twitter. You can find us on our handle at Lagos Talks 913. We're also on Facebook. I promise it's open. I will be reading comments. Facebook.com/Lagos Talks 913. We are on Instagram Live at Lagos Talks 913. And you can call in when the time is right. I will give you those numbers in a couple of minutes. And of course, you can text in when the time is also right. Yeah, we're doing it all today. But guys, when you are joining today's conversation, please use the hashtag Big Event 913. That's Big Event 913. Thank you, Kingsley. Kingsley says, welcome, guys. So happy you've been waiting since I heard news of the big event. Jojo, 2 minutes, man, always late.
Oh my
That is shade.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah,
I know what you guys doing. That's
That's what usually happens.
Maybe he went milking cows.
But he is always late.
Always.
I'd say
24/7. Some say he
Always.
might be late for his own funeral.
Okay.
Ouch.
Shit.
All right, so I guess we'll just go straight into, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we will, of course, commence with the early edition. We're going to follow just the way we do on Lagos Talk. So we'll start with the early edition, get into the midday show, then we'll skip the live drive and go straight to the late edition. Then we'll go to the Saturday weekend, and then we'll end with the live drive. So each one of us, we will be tackling the top eventful stories on our belts. Don't go anywhere. It is, of course, the big event. Yes, you are 21 minutes past the hour of 4, and I have to give it to him. This is usually his bedtime because he is an early bird
Oh, yeah.
and kicks off the
Except when
early
he's
edition.
fishing, though.
Mm-hmm.
Except for when you're fishing, but you don't fish at this time. Is this the right time to fish?
Well, actually, yes.
Oh, it is?
Well, this time till like midnight.
Oh,
It's usually
right,
that's
okay.
at the AM when everyone's going to bed. You know,
Yeah,
the fish come out
the
to
fish
play.
can come out to
type of
play.
thing.
All right, Sadiq.
Yes,
so,
yes.
the early edition, you've been faced with breaking the biggest
Oh,
stories
my
and
goodness.
dealing with it, with, you know, when everybody's driving to work and
Oh,
they're, you know, wanting their daily dose.
It's been a phenomenal year.
I can
Especially
imagine.
when it comes to stories in Nigeria. It's been big.
Okay,
It's
start
been
us
huge.
off.
In fact, let's start with one of the stories that I know I had to deal with like for 3 months straight. As in, it was on and on. There were different sides to the story. There were rumors. It was big. That is our dear president's medical leave.
104 days.
Oh my goodness. Yep, officially started again May the 7th.
Yeah.
And in fact, he did hand over legally to the vice president, left the country. Everything seemed well and good, but it just seemed like there was a void of information coming from the side of the government. And I'm looking at this story in terms of 2018 and what we can learn from it. What has happened, what are the aspects to the story and what we can learn. On the one hand, information. It was an eye-opener for me because it taught me certain things. And I learned a lot of things about the country and what we need. First thing first, on the side of the government, there was a huge hole. There was like a gulf of information. No one knew anything. And even till now, we don't know the exact ailment that was plaguing the president. That caused,
absolutely.
That caused a
Do you
lot
think
of
that we
speculation.
need to know that? Like, when world leaders go... I mean, I said it on my show that
Yeah.
when the Queen had a cold,
It was
just a
common
common
knowledge.
cold, everybody
Common knowledge.
knew.
Yeah, but you have
So-
to think about it. And even in world history, you have the guy in France, Francois Mitterrand. Nobody had any idea what was wrong with him until he passed on, and then they found out, it was prostate cancer. So it does happen. You know, we have these situations. But in Nigeria, it caused such a frenzy of information. There were stories about the president being incapacitated, or he couldn't think, he can't speak. What's the one that Fayose said as well? He said he was bedridden, was on life support. He even threatened that, you know what, if the president doesn't come back in a couple of days, I'll release some pictures and show the
I
world.
remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember
think
that.
the worst part of that was the fact that till date, we still don't even know how much was spent.
One.
You know, I mean, this is a public officer, so
Yeah.
how much were his medical bills? How much did everybody that went there with him, what did it accrue to? And then you had Loreto Nochikoma to say that, you know, it is disrespectful to even ask what the
about-
ailment.
I
I think
mean-
it also showed, you know, the lacuna in our constitution. We don't know how long you can be gone for before anything is done. So that was just, everybody was fishing. We didn't know exactly what to do.
That's the thing. Now, some people might say it's because of a void that's what happened, but obviously because there were other people who were trying to take advantage of the situation. There were people, you know, coming up with stories. And what I learned from this is, first things first, if there's a void, people are going to fill it with whatever. So you can't really
That's true.
blame the people
Exactly,
for
but we
coming
have
up.
moved on now.
Yeah,
Even the National Assembly is not doing anything to fill it up. Nobody's asking for it to be
No,
filled
that's
up,
on
so-
the law aspect of it,
So,
yeah?
yeah.
But I'm just saying the information of it, you know, just doing a
Yes.
bit more. And I'm just saying, we're going forward in 2018, I'm hoping this government understands the importance of disseminating information as much as you can. The people should not ask questions. People shouldn't have to think, I wonder what's going on. It should be right there in our faces. So I'm hoping 2018, that's
But
something we learn.
I
from.
have another angle because you said that like it's almost like the country was in a hole and dare I say froze.
No,
Why
not
can't-
the
no,
country.
not the
froze.
country,
The
the-
hole was an information hole, and people were
Yeah.
filling it up with their
Yeah.
own thing.
Yeah.
Everybody had their own say that the president is not well, or the president.
Then we
can't
had a little
speak.
photo ops every once in a while.
Yeah, and then that's why some people say that's why those things happen, because of the information from everywhere saying, okay, he's incapacitated, he can't speak. That's why these photo ops started happening. We started seeing pictures to like almost prove to people, but did we have to get to that stage first? Now, on the other hand, yes, that's the government's part, but on our part as well, it's like we just sucked up everything. And I understand, and I'm starting to gain the knowledge, understand that, look, the way we treat social media now in Nigeria is the way we started treating media in the beginning of it all. If we remember, media started from newsreels, from World War I. They'd go back and get all the information from Russia or wherever, and then come back, and it would be shown as a cinema. It wasn't even TV, it was cinema houses. So if you follow that theory, at least the magic bullet theory of communication, it's like people believe that when something happens on TV, it's real. So I think the same thing is happening now with the
With social
internet,
media.
with social media, is that when you see it online, you automatically think, it's real.
And social media can be censored, so everybody just uploads
And that's the,
information
but
they like.
people, that's the thing, like with the magic bullet theory, obviously with time, that got dispelled because people obviously knew that not everything on TV is real.
Yeah.
The same way that we will get to that stage with the internet, but now a lot of people in Wikipedia, people use that as a fact checking, and you can't
it's
use
not.
That's the thing. But people don't know that yet. So I understand why, you know, a lot of Nigerians picked up a lot of information, there's a lot of fake news, and they ran with it. But I'm hoping that now, because we've seen what has happened, we've passed through that, in the future, if we have that kind of issue, we don't just go to what's on the social media. We do our own research. And hopefully we start to have social groups that focus on fact checking. It happens everywhere else in the world, but Nigeria...
I think that's where traditional media comes in, to fact check
Well,
most of these things that happen on social media.
Yeah, we can't really...
We're in the present day and age, so no show reels and
Yeah.
tickets to the cinema. You can join.
No,
to
give me the tickets though.
No, I want to
I'll
see
go.
that.
I'll go.
Yeah, don't forget, we are on Instagram Live. Our handle is at Lagos Talks 913, and you can tweet in and react to some of the biggest stories right here on the big event. Our Twitter handle is at Lagos Talks 913. You can also send your comments in via Facebook, which is facebook.com/Lagos Talks 913. And when Sadiq is done rehashing and recapping the top
Hopefully
stories, the phone lines, of course, will be open for you to definitely be a part of the big event. All right, moving on from the 104 days trip.
Thankfully, we're
medical
over that.
trip.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to be going chronologically. I'm just going to
Yeah,
pick up the
absolutely.
story further. Now, another major. I just feel like these stories were extremely important to us as a nation. Another very important story that I think a lot of people just forgot about, or it didn't really have the impact it should have had, is the End SARS campaign. That was absolutely amazing, and the fact that young people had an issue. It had nothing to do with political parties. It had nothing to do with the elite. It had to do with young Nigerians that face these problems every day. And they went to social media and they got a reaction.
Has anybody here faced a problem with SARS?
Oh yeah.
Okay, please share.
I have faced an issue with SARS.
Share-
Oh, really?
share
Did
with
you,
me.
did
Yeah,
you
what
lovingly,
happened?
lovingly deal with this situation?
No, well, I was doing my NYSC
Oh, okay.
at the time, and luckily I was one of those core members that had a car during NYSC. So I was driving home, but thankfully I was wearing my NYSC uniform because as I was driving home, so they saw me. And they were confused how a core member
Had a
will have a car.
I'll show that
And so they brought up the idea that my license plate was not registered on the FRSC.
Wow.
Wait, SARS were the ones asking you
SARS,
about
yes.
your license plate.
They were asking me
Wow.
about my license plate. Now, the car I
Interesting.
was driving was a 1998 vehicle.
Yeah.
So you can imagine when FRSC started you can imagine when FRSC started registering license plates. So that was the car I was driving, and they were telling me that the plate number could have been fixed on the car, and I was like,
Sorry.
so they were expecting me to give them some money.
Did you?
I didn't give them money.
Ah, yeah, strong.
So
You
they,
know you're right.
they delayed me for 6 hours.
What?
6 hours.
6 hours.
I'm not kidding
Can
you.
I ask you a question?
In between Ilorin and Ogbomoso, I am not
6
lying.
hours.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead. Ask
So
me.
when you were communicating with them, were you using this voice? Or
Really, they should have calmed down.
Well, you know, they
Well.
when they saw the way I was talking, they wanted to act intelligent with me. So they brought out the phone. They brought out the phone and they were showing me one website, and they were saying there's this website you can check for number plates.
Oh,
if
yeah.
they're not. I was like, excuse me, sir, this car is 1998. How would they register it?
in the world?
How in the world would I get the number from them? Because you know it was the old style of the
Yeah,
plate numbers and
yeah.
all that, and it was just 6 hours, man. My mom was calling, "Are you lost? Are you okay?"
Okay, so before you get into
Yeah,
the rehash
more
of it,
into, yeah.
I want to find out from each and every one of you if you think we should end or reform SARS. Just that simple. Iffy?
I think we should reform SARS. Because the truth is, if you want to say end SARS, then you end the whole police. Do you understand? Because the truth is, I feel like the system in itself, it's been eroded. And I believe, rather than, you know how they say, you don't throw away the baby with the bathwater.
Bathwater, yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So they just need to reform it. The truth is, people have had great experiences. Ayana was sharing her
yep.
experience that right at Third Mainland, you know, it's a very dangerous place,
Bridge,
that her
yeah.
car happened to stop, and then a couple of people, SARS
SARS,
officials,
yeah.
walked up to her. They helped her. They were able to diagnose the problem of the car, and then they said to all these area boys that are around the area, they gave them petrol, a kit to go and buy
Jerry can,
petrol. They bought petrol, they came, put it in Ayana's car and everything, and she wanted to give them money, and they said no. And they said, you could have been my sister.
Yeah.
So people
wow.
have
Yeah,
had
they-
their good
yes.
experiences with SARS. So rather than just put everyone away,
Yeah.
reform SARS.
Okay. Adu?
Yeah.
I'm with reform. I just think that, you know, like Ife said, not everyone is bad. So if we can take the system and look into it in more detail, I think we'll get the best out of them.
Man, I'm not even looking at this in terms of SARS or no SARS.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, when I heard the story and I saw people speaking, I'm looking at it deeper in the sense of how we treat each other as Nigerians, basically. That even if you try to reform, if you get another set of people in there, aren't they going to do exactly the same thing?
Very
Look
true.
at if you go to an institution, there's a security guard, the guy wants to show his power. So is it the way we treat each other basically as Nigerians that's the issue, or is it now a SARS thing? Because I feel like that's the root cause. It's not really about the policeman, because we see this kind of behavior happen everywhere. if it's not in the police, it's in a bank,
I
it's
think-
in institution.
yeah.
It's a deeper issue than just how SARS is
There's-
treating. These
there's
are
a
people
sense of-
given guns. They will show that power.
Yeah. Hierarchy and entitlement plays a very
that's the
big
thing.
part.
So I feel like
in
if we
this.
want to change the problem, we need to change society in itself. You know, rather than just target SARS alone. Then what about customs? What about immigrations? Don't we have these same problems
Exactly.
It is everywhere, but I think the reason why people don't believe in the less reform SARS is because you've had the IGP give different orders that were never carried out. So when he says, you know, take out the roadblocks, and they're always there. When he says do this, they're always there. They're like, you're telling us you're going to reform SARS. We don't believe it's going
there?
to
Oh,
happen.
so that's what you're saying. They want them
So
to just
basically,
scrap it.
just scrap it because we don't believe. So I actually think that, you know, Shegelink, who is the guy who is spearheading
Yeah,
this,
spearheading it,
because
yeah.
I spoke to him and I was asking exactly why you are being at the forefront of it. I said that because he's tired of the way things are happening. So basically, I think it should be a case of legislation. What are lawmakers doing about it? So that there should be like an overhauling of the entire police reform system. Then they know that's not just the IGP giving orders. There's a law backing it up. Then they can start believing that it can be reformed.
Because there's a lot to that story. I mean, reading the experiences of people. But the thing is, the lesson in the whole thing for me was, we went on social media, we complained, and
got
there was a
attention.
response.
Yes. Yeah.
Even if it wasn't the response we were looking for, but that is a starting
It is still
point.
ongoing, actually.
It's
There are
ongoing.
still people putting out stories every day
Yeah.
about this, you know.
But it's
You don't see
ongoing,
it
and that's a
going on.
major thing. If we understand that, look, these guys actually listen, then we can start asking for more. And we don't have to go out on the streets. We can actually do it on social media and get a response.
And get
Come
a
on.
response.
Then we should start, have a priority list of things that we want and start knocking them out one by one.
Like stable power.
Exactly. But even with the whole SARS, like I hear what you're saying with legislature and the police force. There's so much that needs to be done. It's not even just the police force. With all,
There's a Nigerian culture
yes, exactly.
that we need
And
to
that's the thing.
tweak.
That's the thing. But anyways, we'll going forward 2018,
Yes.
let us know that we, the youth, who are over 60% of this population, actually have the power to make a difference. The frustration we feel now
We're
is
the
because
majority.
yeah, we're the majority, but we feel this frustration because we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I think, and I've started understanding that Nigeria isn't really that difficult to fix. I know we might be like, really?
You know, I would say we're a peculiar country.
Yeah,
I'll
we
say
are,
that.
but it's not that difficult. It's actually simple solutions to these things. It's just who's ready to carry out and go the run. But if we all decide that, you know what, we don't want this, we don't like this, we've seen the effects, it actually works.
All right.
Hopefully 2018 we'll put an end to some other things.
Yeah, yeah,
We just
yeah,
mentioned
yeah.
as well. People pressuring other people to marry. How about that?
that is your biggest pressure. Really?
Is that
Hey,
Theo,
hey.
your
You
next
started moving
story?
on.
Was that a focal point on the early edition? I'm not
Actually,
sure.
now just from this story to the next story, it's still about the
okay.
police.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Interesting. That's why I want to take it in this order, because we had the bad side, SARS, and then we had that viral video
Yeah, the heroic
of the heroic police officer. It's
Yeah.
almost amazing. When everyone's talking about SARS, we forget that story. You remember the story, Imo State, there was a robbery, there's a
Yeah.
really brave police officer
Yes.
who came out and, battled these, killed one of them, if I
Yes.
remember. And then I think later on, I think it was February 23rd, he actually succumbed to injuries and he died. There was a massive social media, outpouring,
it, yeah.
and people actually said, you know what, we're going to donate a certain amount of money for this guy's family.
yeah.
And in 24 hours, they surpassed that amount. 24
That
hours,
is
and not people in
amazing.
Nigeria, people outside the country.
Wow.
That is a pivot. That's an amazing story. That's something that touched me to let me know that, okay, yes, Nigerians, we can take care of
We do not
ourselves.
promote good stories enough. I think that's
That's
the
the
biggest
thing.
problem.
It's about
Do
promoting
you think
good
it's a
stories.
Nigerian thing or it's just a general
Well,
thing?
bad news is always,
Bad news
it's always
always
one
makes-
that
yeah.
that goes faster than
It does.
anything else.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, but we need, and that's it. Always, I go from a government angle and a people angle. The people angle, we did the right thing.
Yes.
We stepped up to the plate and we said, you know what, we don't care. This guy has done something good. We need to reward him for it. And that's the key. We focus too much, I think, in the country on
On the
punishing
negative.
the
On
negative. We focus too much on the corrupt. What about the people who have been good for 35, 40 years, who haven't stolen a dime in the civil service? How do you think they feel? Everyone talks
Nobody's
about Jerry.
telling their story,
No one
that's
is.
why.
That's the thing. No one's telling their story. No one is even interested. One is like, hey, corruption, scandal. What about people who have done well? I feel like positive reinforcement is what will turn things around. If we focus more on the good, then you inspire more people. For example, that guy, the police officer, his family, there could be one or two officers to think, oh wow, so if I do the right thing, I can
People will
actually get
acknowledge it.
rewarded.
Absolutely.
That is the beginning of change. Everyone talks about Jerry Rawlings and Ghana. That, oh yes, he came out and white people. But it was a two-pronged attack. Yes, he came in and he did that.
Characteristic.
Exact. But he also came in and he rewarded people. The president of a country every year would do like they used to call him the most valuable farmer or the most impressive farmer. They had a tag for it. And the guy who made the biggest produce will be driven around the stadium in a tractor by the president.
That is impressive.
That is a big deal. So that is a
We're
reward.
not there yet.
That's
Sorry.
it, but we can be there. It doesn't
We
take
can
anything.
be,
It
but
really
I
doesn't
don't
take
know.
Well, I mean, this is
There's
a little
too many
digression. There's a
barriers.
story that was trending on Twitter. I don't know if you guys saw the Pablo story. He actually started with Timisa here. Timisa was the one who started with the let's give him money.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
and then,
really?
Yes, it was Timisa who he reached out to, and then let's give you money. And Timisa put a story out, let everybody give him money, and then found out that this guy was just scamming people.
Ah.
So you realize that he just wanted to make money on Christmas Day.
There are many people.
And
like
then you have people saying, oh, you know what, he's apologized, let's just leave him.
He's
But that is also a
apologized?
problem in Nigeria. We do not punish people for
Yeah.
bad behavior. We can talk about it and then that's where it goes to. I said something, I told my friends, if this guy is not punished, he will scam somebody of millions tomorrow.
Yes.
You know, because everybody's saying, he's apologized, just leave him alone, it's okay. But that's how he starts. How old is he? And he's doing this. Christmas Day in 2 hours, he got 145K. I mean, come on.
Wow.
That's because Nigerians are actually nice people, they will help.
We
Yeah,
are.
but that's the thing. But you know the funny, we're not
And
as
Christmas
nice.
brings out
Like you say,
Yeah.
say
Exactly.
we're
Let's
nice.
just-
I think the guy should still be arrested. Should spend some nights
Oh, yeah,
in jail.
no,
Then he will
definitely.
know that he
Definitely.
shouldn't do
Like
that
I said,
again.
it's a two-pronged thing. We've done well with it. If it's coming to arrest and putting people in jail, let's forget
Yeah.
about the political class and their elites. We've done that. A lot of people are in jail for even things they didn't do.
Yeah,
What about
true.
rewarding people?
True.
That is my thing. Positive reinforcement works in every strata
I
of
like
life. You're
that.
talking about children, it works better.
Yes.
Even with training animals, it works
Very
better.
true.
So why don't we do the same for us?
True.
You know, why don't we focus on positive reinforcement? Why don't we focus on, doing good things to the people who have done good? Because it's depressing to be in a country where you've been good, you've been upstanding,
Hard work
and
is
you
not
have
rewarded.
nothing to show
nothing.
for it.
It's not
Exactly.
rewarded.
It's not rewarded. But a guy just goes out, does 1 or 2 things, has a Rolls Royce. Chairman. Obviously,
Exactly.
it's going to change your mentality. So I think that's one of the
True.
major. That's why that story is very important, and the fact that we rewarded good behavior and first thing first, we took care of one of our own. Now I'm hoping that the government part of it is these guys needed to have come out and shown something. They should have come out and done the extra.
True.
Make every policeman out there think, so all I have to do is chop 1 bullet and I can get all this place. It'll inspire people.
I'll
I will
die on the
die
job.
exactly.
Yeah, I'll die on
If
the
they know that their families will be taken care of, they will do anything.
They will go out of their way, yes.
But I mean, think about it. A policeman dies now. How much do they get? It's like 50K or 25K, and that's it.
Oh
Done.
my God.
How much do they even get paid with your life?
Exactly. So yeah.
And must they wait till when they're dead?
Yeah. So
Till
those
they
are the
do
things
all
we
the
need to
nice
change. That's why I'm like the
things.
NSAS thing. It's like we need to consider a lot. It's a holistic thing. I understand that
Yes.
we've been through this, but let's look at the other side of the divide. Let's know what these guys are going through as well. If you've been to a barracks in Nigeria, you
Oh
will
my
never look
God.
at a policeman the same way
Wow.
again.
We had one in the studio one
Oh
time
yeah,
together.
yeah, yeah.
It was
That's true.
serious.
That's true.
Just something to talk about.
Right. Moving on. What's the final story? Yes, we've done there's one. I'm going to replace the story. I apologize. Yeah.
Okay.
Because this is also a lesson in itself. It was the clash between the DSS and the EFCC.
It's the ongoing clash.
Yes. We all know the story. Let me know. I don't think I need to go because of time. Let me not get too deep into it. But I think that story in itself, it brought up a lot of things that were very unnecessary.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons why I say the solution to Nigeria's problem is simple, but we kind of go around in circles and not just solve it. That particular problem is a case of processes. Simple. It had nothing to do with everyone saying, oh, this person has this. We personalize and we politicize.
Now,
it's a case of protocol.
And
What is the
jurisdiction,
protocol that's meant
and
to be
everybody
followed?
understanding how to work as a, like a team.
Yeah, I mean, should I say what? In fact, there are 2 situations that just made me understand that we don't understand how to use protocol in this country. The first one was that it's simple. Before I go to any organization, I will contact the head first.
Yeah.
That look,
So I don't understand how.
So was he
They
absent at the
how
meeting or
it-
something?
so that's a problem. So
You know,
if you
I-
are part of the board, so how come you didn't
Personally,
know?
I even think that, this kind of feeling that we have sometimes in Nigeria, like, now my Ghana, now
Yeah.
insults me. So those guys,
yeah, no, but
had
that's
that
definite.
Namayoga kind of attitude
That's
with the
definite.
FCC.
True.
That's definite.
True.
That's for sure. But not the right thing to do. I just
Not
feel
the
like
right
if we follow process.
Okay, but
Lots of
2018
things
is
that-
pre-election year,
Yeah,
right? And so these 2 agencies moving forward, What do you think should happen in 2018 with them, other than kiss and make up and work?
I honestly think it's like I just said, it's simple processes.
Yeah.
If you have a process, follow it. As far as I'm concerned, the whole thing could have been avoided with a simple phone call
From the
from one agency to the other.
another, yeah.
Now, if that didn't happen and they had gotten to this, well, the most embarrassing thing wasn't even the clash, was the fact that they were there for 6 hours. What are you doing there for
Like
6 hours?
It was a standoff. A Mexican
But that's
standoff.
just, that's, it just, I'm sorry, it sounds retarded that I'm there for 6 hours. Now, what should happen if I get there and they don't allow me? What is the common sense thing to do? Escalate. Look, we've gotten here, they've not allowed us, let's call our boss. Our boss calls your boss and then they work on that level. That didn't happen. Or what was going on? Or the bosses refused to speak to each other.
But you know that this is just an example of what is going on. I don't want to get
On
into
a
the
larger
politics too
scale,
much.
right?
But if you look at this administration,
Yeah.
everybody has had fights with themselves. The foreign ministry, you had Abike Dabiri and
Oh,
Geoffrey
and,
Onyema, you had
yeah.
their issues. You have Kemi Adeosun, you have her with the custom
and-
boss. You have the head of service, you know, I mean, so
And the issue is what
it's-
processes. Simple. This is
It
the
is
law. This is what you're
fighting.
meant to do. This is how you follow it. The end.
don't
So
forget when they're going towards the same goal. They are in the same
I
administration.
mean, I don't get.
that's
what's the
it's
problem?
not to be. I feel like it's not spelled out clear. Like,
Maybe
these
they need
things
to
aren't
take a
written out.
team building exercise and the president should do
Yes,
They need to
exactly.
go on
I'm just
vacation.
vacation, really?
Or
That's
like
what I
all
think.
of them on the beach.
Everybody
and
needs to
everybody
wash
just
out their
runs around in
Actually,
beach
we're not
shorts
paying for that. We're not paying for that. Taxpayers' money, no.
I'm just kidding. Don't worry.
Faith, which taxpayer?
I pay my taxes.
We all pay our
I'm
taxes.
just asking. All right, it is 43 minutes gone past the hour of 4. We are all here present, except Joseph. For the big event. Don't forget that you can tweet in. Please use the hashtag the big event.
Yeah.
913, and you can call in to 0809 191 3913, 0809 222 0913, and 0809 234 5913. Let's go to the phone lines. Lagos Talks.
Yeah.
Could you turn down your radio, please?
Okay, look. Good
Hello.
evening, guys. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, Sadiq. I want you to I didn't come on the issue of IPOB and then Nandekano in your analysis. I think you made the headline this year.
What's your name and where you calling from first? Hello?
No, that's all he wanted
Let's
to
go
say.
on. He just
You
wanted
should
to talk
make a
about
point
that.
of saying that was actually on
Yeah.
your list of things.
Yeah,
to talk
it
about,
was,
yes.
but,
we know that it was one of the
yeah.
big stories.
Overtake
but,
it, man.
Yeah, but we'll get into it further down, right?
Somebody else here.
Someone pushed that.
Somebody else will talk about
Yeah.
it. It's on
Okay.
her list to talk about. But it's 45 minutes gone past the hour of 4. We'll take a quick break. And when we come back, it's time for the dance.
Hey.
Hey!
I think it is.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere. You're still joining us here on Lagos Talks 91.3. Giving and giving this December. All 5 of us are in. Are we 5?
We're
Yeah, we're 5
Yeah.
at the moment. Sorry, guys. Don't worry. We'll try and we'll cover sports if Faulkner doesn't make it. And
We'll manage.
we'll find a way around
Some
it. I
way.
don't want to keep rehashing that. But yes, from the early edition right down to the weekend show, we are all live and direct in the studio to give you the top stories and revisit some of the biggest stories and events of 2017. Before we go to the Radio Butterfly
And the midday.
on the midday show, you can call in. Of course, we need to get some reactions to the rehashing of Sadiq on the early edition. I just really want to point out that the IPOB agitation was on the list of the top events to
Yeah.
cover, but I think people are still agitated, so we've said it, and now we'll just move on. All right, 0809 234 5913, 0809 222 0913, and 0809 191 3913. Lagos Talks. All right. Let me go to Twitter very quickly. Okay. They're looking for Joseph Faulkner. BOS says, good evening to you all. Good evening, BOS. And says, please, I want him and Sadiq to talk about the victory of the Super Eagles qualification to the FIFA World Cup. That's part of the sports side. Let's go
Yeah,
back
yeah.
to the phone lines. Lagos Talks. All right, okay. Do keep calling in. Lagos Talks.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, Titty Lockbear. Good evening.
What is happening? Where are business people?
They're doing business.
I can hear the shaman there. Sadiq is there.
Hello.
We're all here, Titty Lockbear.
It's the big event.
It's the big event, you know?
Okay, for the year 2000.
Yeah, we're revisiting the biggest stories.
Okay. Actually, first of all, let me appreciate you guys. From Sadiq to Adu, late in the night. You guys have been wonderful. Particularly, this is my best belt of your program. That is from oral period to, and I enjoy this time very, very, very well. And I want to say that I've learned so much. I have argued so much. I have very serious controversy on this program and faith program as well.
Well, we thank you for your listenership. Thank you so much.
No. It's very, very, very enjoyable. I must tell you, you guys are it's just like we are together one-on-one on a round table. Even though it is a blind medium. But really, I appreciate what you guys are doing there. For the events in 2017, for me, I would say my best, I've ratio 3, even though they are countless, but then let me try to restrict myself to 3. Number 1 was the protest that was championed by Two-Face, which was eventually cancelled. That was a moment I think Nigeria could have got it right if it had gotten well, but unfortunately, they might just take it out at the tail end, which was so unfortunate. Because if that was successful, I'm sure many other disappointments we had during the year would not have come. But because nobody was able to put the government on their toes, no accountability, and that's why we have the impunity to where we have it today. Then number 2 is the return of the president. Honestly, people to have no more his fan. I was so happy that the president return saved us a big political log jam, because you know what would have happened if anything, or maybe the inevitable eventually happened. But thank God spared him. Even though I'm still disappointed that he had to travel abroad, spread over 100 days. Nobody knows how much he has actually spent. And in a country where many Nigerians cannot even access basic health care. It's so unfortunate, but thank God that our baby was back and we had that.
If you keep going on like this, you're gonna eventually have to join us live in the studio.
Thank you. In fact, thank you to all our listeners. But let's go back to the phone line. Lagos Talks.
Lagos Talks. Good evening.
Good
evening.
Welcome to the big event.
Thank you. My name is Paul.
Paul, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from opposite Ojoba.
Okay, nice to hear from you. Join the conversation.
Yeah, I am first-time caller.
Hey, welcome.
We're not singing for you, if that's what you're looking for. Thanks for fellowshipping.
It's on the singing group.
No. But thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
Okay.
To start with, I disagree with some certain things that Sadiq said.
Yeah, it's my opinion.
This Nigeria doesn't need anything soft hands. And the most of the things that is happening was by the government. Yes, because we had something like we call the Oputa panel before.
Oh yeah.
When they recover any money, before anybody will be arrested, we will hear the name of that person. And when they recover that money, we must hear the amount of the money. Where they keep that money, we will know. That is one. Secondly, could you remember some policemen that killed some businessmen in Abuja?
Yes, I remember.
They got away with that problem, and they wanted by promoting them. Is that good? So this is what I want to say. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
You know the funny thing? I have a completely interesting theory about Nigeria, what he's saying about force. I do hear what he's saying, but it's not force in itself. That's not really what we need. What we're suffering from is coming out of a military regime. It's like having a little child that you've put under your thumb for like 12 years, and then you tell that child, go to university without supervision. What do you think is going to happen? Case in point, look at Iraq. The minute the entire country of Iraq heard that Saddam had been captured, not killed, just captured, they started looting. Why? Because they had been so oppressed, they just wanted to express themselves. That's what we're doing now. There was no orientation. It's the same-
Guys, last Friday of the year. Last Friday of the year. Wind it back. Wind it
No,
down.
but I'm
Wind it
saying
back.
it's exactly the same thing. It's oppression and then freedom
How'd you
and
go
then
from
no
this to-
transition. We've gone from a military rule to a democracy, and no one really understands how a democracy works. I'll give you a situation. I understand where he's coming from with the force. I'll give you a clear example of what we need. If you look at the Lekki Expressway, I give this example all the time. In Europe, it's normal to use roundabouts. In America, it's intersections. Now, science has done countless number of tests to prove that roundabouts actually handle traffic better.
But they don't in Lekki. I'm sorry.
I'm getting to
Because
that. I'm
people
getting
don't
to
know
that.
how to.
I'm getting to that.
Wait,
I'm getting to
let's
that.
go. Where
Now
do you wanna
that's the issue. It's because a roundabout has to do with people understanding how it works. The onus of it working is left with the people.
Yeah.
With
yeah.
intersections, it is orders. It's
Yes.
stop, you
Go.
go, you stop.
Yeah.
Now, military regime has caused us to answer stop, go, and not
Roundabouts.
understand roundabouts.
Wow, but that's
Exactly.
true, though.
Now,
That's
if you take
interesting.
a democracy, what is a democracy? If you look at the definition of the people, by the people, for the people, and
Yes.
just like a roundabout, it's the people who are meant to marshal a democracy. We don't understand that in Nigeria.
Sadiq,
We
that was
believe
deep.
that
I
it is
know,
the
that's
government.
very,
We should
very-
call you
That
the
was
professor.
deep.
Yeah.
A round of applause!
Professor.
Sadiq, so you're saying we need to be more in a
No,
roundabout
I'm saying, no,
manner?
but
It is. We need to check ourselves. Pretty
We're
much.
not good enough to understand democracy, and we need a benevolent dictator.
that's what I'm getting at.
Dictator.
That's the thing. We don't have to
Take
go
it
to
too
the
deep.
Yeah, I'm just saying that those are some of the comments that people have.
Yeah, those are the comments made, but
So
those
the
are, you know,
benevolent
for
dictator,
example, like
um,
I'm saying with the NSARS, we go to
yeah.
the extremes with these things.
Yeah.
There's a middle ground. For we don't need a dictator, we don't need force like that. We just need to understand the language that we as a people would understand. Look at traffic situations every single day. If you're in a traffic log jam and there's no man in a military uniform, we're all at each other.
Yeah.
The minute we don't even
In a
have to
disorderly
get that
fashion.
guy
Crazy.
in there once we see them, we start to, and that's the thing.
And
it's
I
the
think it's a
mentality.
problem here.
Oh, it's a problem. It's a major problem.
Not around the world, just
It's here. No, but that's what I'm saying. It's because
Sorry,
of the
guys.
military regime. In South Africa, when they left apartheid, the first thing Nelson Mandela did was go to the people who imprisoned him to say, hey, I forgive you. Why did you do that? Because he understood what's
That's
more
how the
important is the
transition-
mental. Exactly. We didn't have the transition from
I
military
like that.
I love
Sadiq.
this.
to
I
democracy.
love Sadiq. I give
Thank you.
my
So when I-
His
so
voice
when I-
is
so when I-
president.
His
You're
voice
so
is
big for
president.
governor.
Professor.
Big for governor. You're so strong.
Let's vote.
I think you've got my vote.
Yeah,
You've got my vote.
Let's vote. Vote now.
Write a book.
But do not,
2018 is coming.
but do not keep this man
Write a
in
book.
charge of the
I should write a
kitchen.
book.
Yes, you should.
Because he will finish the food.
Actually.
If you flip
And
me,
all
then
he
I
do
get
is
it.
fish.
You
Yeah.
Fish.
Hey,
If-
hey.
He doesn't hate fish.
Okay,
He just,
we'll round up Sadiq. I'd like to thank you for
thank
owning
you.
the
Thank
early
you.
edition
Thank
this
you.
year. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you very much.
Just quickly, we'll round off on a couple of tweets. Isaac says, a big event in the news this year was the case of the government not willing to give the whistleblower his money on time, claiming he could go mad and need psychiatric evaluation.
Let's see what's happening by
Another
information.
news is the minor saga. Caleb says he's Maynagate, yeah. Caleb says, I hereby nominate a substitute for Jojo, which is you, Sadiq. And Caleb comes back to say, oh boy, see Sadiq Shah in his analyst's element. Indeed. Anyway, well, if he decides to run for governor, he has our vote right here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Free food.
913. All right. That is it for the early edition
Fantastic.
and the big event. Now we move on to what follows next. Only by the most beautiful radio butterfly.
You're next to one.
I'm so shy.
Iffy Eye.
Are you shy?
You know her on the midday show. You know her for her round table, you
Yes,
know,
the
of highly
dish.
influential
Lady.
women who give it all that they need to. Sometimes when I'm
Yes.
tuning, I'm like, oh my god, what's this like? What?
Oh my
So
God.
I need to gargle this and I need to do that. You know what, Iffy? How has it been?
Oh, it has been a great run, guys. 2017 has been absolutely fantastic. We've had beautiful stories, we've had scary stories, heartbreaking stories, and so we're going to talk about a couple of them. We're going to start with the biggest night in Hollywood. What happened during the Oscars? I believe this took place on the 26th of February. So the Oscars, it's a huge night in Hollywood. Like that is the biggest award ceremony. If you get to the Oscars, then you've made it. Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
And so one of the biggest awards during the Oscars is the Best Picture. That is the award for the night. And during the time for the awards, everyone was waiting to see who won Best Picture. And now it was between two movies, La La Land and Moonlight. Now La La Land had a lot of fans because everyone was thinking, you know what, this movie was everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so of course it's going to win Best Picture. So when they were trying to give the awards, and then they announced the awards, they were like, Best Picture goes to La La Land, and everyone was screaming because of course that is what we're expecting. However, that was not the movie that won Best Picture. Sadly.
I think it's
That's
very
Steve Harvey all
easy
over
to get-
again.
No, but I think it's very easy to get nervous at the moment. Like, in the air, they're like, it's La La Land, it's La La Land. The card says it's La La Land, it's La La Land. And then you're like, okay, how hard can it be to say two, words or
La
La Land? Okay. And the winner is Titanic.
But the thing is, it wasn't the fault of the presenters.
Yeah.
It was, I think it's called
Technical.
PricewaterhouseCoopers. They're the ones that are in charge of the votes.
Yeah.
So the person, apparently, like this is, because after this happened, a lot of stories are flying around that the person in charge of the card, she was tweeting, and then when it was time, she gave the wrong card to the presenters. Actually, she gave the wrong card to the presenters. The card they got was a card for Emma Stone, is that her name?
Emma Stone.
Yeah, Emma Stone.
Emma
She
Stone,
was in La La Land.
exactly, for La La Land.
Oh, a different
was a wrong
Oh, it was
card.
the wrong category.
Yeah, so the thing is, they saw Emma Stone, they saw La La Land. I mean, and they're looking for a movie, they're like, so it was so embarrassing because after and they came up to the stage, the cast came up to the stage, and everyone was, screaming.
Fanfare.
Exactly.
I like to talk about
But then what happened was that you start seeing people backstage like they were whispering. And so some of them now realize that, something is wrong.
You see,
clearly.
on such a big
Oh
night
my
like that, do you not
God.
think that at award ceremonies and things like that, do you not think, okay, we're just going to have to give it to you and
I was going to
that
think
person,
about,
because you can't take
would it be
back.
fair?
No, it would not be fair.
Would it be
to
fair?
Moonlight.
Genuinely.
What,
would
to
it be
take
fair?
It wouldn't be fair,
No,
but
to
would
give
it be
it to
fair
two
to
of
say,
them.
oh, you won, but you didn't
No.
win?
But
But
what
what
if-
is such a magnanimous night?
I understand where you're coming from, but what if it's something I've worked so hard for?
That's what I said, no, two winners.
No.
Okay, two winners. That's what counts.
No, it can't be two
No.
winners. No, reason because it will destroy the credibility
Exactly,
of
of the
Exactly.
Oscars.
And
Absolutely.
that's-
But what
the
about
one
the
thing-
credibility of the person who's gone up to stage and say, I'd like to, actually, you
That's
did win.
so that person,
was
their
a
own credibility doesn't
mistake.
matter. The Oscar in itself,
Guys.
yes.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
So
I
that
don't know. I
was-
don't know.
that
I don't know
was
what
that.
to say, but yeah, that was a major.
Steve Harvey all over
It was
again.
exactly.
Yes.
Steve Harvey.
I know someone who was trying to present an award last night and he said he didn't want to have a Steve Harvey moment. I was like,
What award is
it was
that?
IQ. He wanted
That's
to
true.
give someone award.
Because I think the funniest meme I've
Yeah.
seen this year. So I think it was it Christmas or Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
And then there was something completely different with Steve Harvey's face.
Oh,
Yeah.
Guys.
Oh, that happens
No,
every
that's
time.
now
Yeah.
trending now.
Yeah, it's
meme.
trending.
It's definitely trending. All right, Iffy, what else has been making the round?
Okay, so another story, Harvey Weinstein.
Hey.
Hey.
It's a major story, big producer in Hollywood.
Yeah, that was
And
worldwide.
recently a woman came out to say that, she was sexually assaulted by him sometime in the past. And that was just like a can of worms that just opened up because over 80 women then came up after that to say the same thing. We're talking about Gwyneth Paltrow, talking about Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, these big names. And when these big names start coming out, you have to say, okay, I believe it. Because a lot of times people start saying things like, oh, are you sure it's not one of these groupies that are trying to get money and all that?
For 80 people.
80 people came out, including
80
these
Hollywood actresses.
Yeah, exactly.
and including these big
Lupita
names,
Nyong'o.
which was ridiculous.
Yeah,
and I'm very glad they did. I mean, I'm sad that it took a long time
Yeah.
before someone was bold enough
To stand up.
come out to that. And now, I don't know if it's something that just happened in Hollywood because after Harvey Weinstein, a couple of other people.
Sexual
Oh,
harassment
it's actually,
just came
the
out.
funny thing, it's around the
world,
world.
yeah.
It's actually, there's
He
a
tricked
huge
that-
wave going on. There's a
Mm.
Me Too
That's the Me Too
campaign.
movement.
I
There's
love that.
another one in different parts of the world.
No,
there.
for France, they have their own name
Yeah,
for it. I
exactly.
can't pronounce it, I won't say it. And Spain as well, they
Yeah,
have
Spain
their own
have
name
their own.
for it.
Australia have
You know,
their
Australia
own.
is all over the
gathering.
Everybody's
actually.
looking inwards to find out, have you been abused? It's
Yeah.
almost like
And I think the best part of the campaign now that I've started witnessing, there's a man side to the campaign. I think it's I stand for her or something. No, I stand. It's men coming out to say, look, we can't be silent anymore.
And it's not even only women that experience this. Kevin Spacey came out to say that he was gay.
Kevin Spacey
was actually accused.
Kevin Spacey was accused. Terry Crews came out to say
yeah. No, I was saying that Kevin Spacey was accused, and he was by a man.
By a man. Oh,
that's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, Terry Crews was also harassed by
women
a man as well.
What I'm saying is that men usually, you know how every time there's an assault, or even in Nigeria, there's a concert where people had allegations. People were saying things like, "Oh, what is she wearing?
That disgusting.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, I'm happy that men are coming out to stand up against and not just be quiet. You know, to make it seem like, oh.
Let me bring my love duck to silence.
Okay. Oh
yeah. Now women need protection, right? Not because they are made in the way that they're weaker, but I think it's because from the concept of gentleman and lady, you would hear in that connotation that there's just something about women that needs the man or the male gender to shield them from all of this.
Yeah, I think
predators.
That's it. Yeah.
So I believe that this, sexual violence, the sexual abuse campaign is a very, very strategic move, because I believe it's protecting a lot of women. Women now see that if the guy should try to do anything, I can talk.
I think that was what was
women now have a voice.
But they should have had a voice.
Well, it's not that
I'm trying to be a feminist, but
I mean, it starts from somewhere, and I love the fact that it started.
It started and it's spreading. In fact, the thing is, like I was reading about it yesterday. It's even gone beyond. I think in Mexico, the one has gone far. It's not even sexual harassment. It's femicide. Over 90 women have been killed just because they're women.
No
in Mexico
way.
Come
this
on.
year. No jokes. So so they've started their campaign as well. Yeah, it's a ridiculous
What are we going to start in Nigeria?
That's exactly what should we call out. Will we start in Nigeria?
We had a movement in Nigeria at some point for women. You know that. I think that was last year. And it actually, I'm trying to remember the hashtag right now. It actually went viral, went all over.
But
they reported
did
it on
anyone
CNN,
come out
it.
and mention
but
names?
At the end of the day, it wasn't about sexual harassment. It was about the way women were treated and just feminism.
But I'm waiting for the day that would happen.
Because
people would start mentioning names, because there's a lot of things that happens in this industry. It's ridiculous.
50-50.
Yes.
50-50.
Oh, that's what it was called.
Okay, 50-50. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we need something along the lines of the Me Too campaign. People need to be shamed.
You know what people said. See, this is. I'm not trying to say that Nigeria can't go that route.
Yeah.
It's a case of at the end of the day, there are people who will look at this and say, in our society, a woman says this. I mean, somebody cannot even call you and you complain. You're already in trouble. And it's also because there is a patriarchy in the system in our society that it's going to be hard for you to push that movement, because again, people will tell you, see, we're still hungry. Leave that one first. I think it's just a case of no. I'm serious. At the end of the day, we don't see it as important because of the patriarchal nature of our society. I don't think it's the most important thing. Exactly. I don't think it's the most important thing. Unfortunately, it is for us women, but you people that cause it. A woman was giving her story, and people were attacking her. You need to go to Twitter comment section.
So if I get robbed, is it me that caused this?
Exactly.
So if the fact that they've looted Nigeria is us that caused this, so it's the same thing. If you can blame a woman for being harassed, then I mean, you can blame everyone for being robbed. You can blame us for being. Actually, fine. Let's not.
All right, it's 8 minutes past the hour 5. We are still here on the big event, and we have moved into the midday show side of it, and Iffy is giving us a breakdown of everything. Don't forget to tweet in, please. Our handle is @LagosTalks913, and hashtag is BigEvent913. Iffy, what's up next?
Okay, so up next, let's bring it back home. Tonto Dike. That's another major story, guys. If you remember, before it all blew up. Before it all blew up, when Tonto Dike got married to her husband Churchill, it was like, oh my goodness, I'm living in paradise. Showing the cars, every single thing, just pretty much showing that exactly, that my husband is taking care of me. I'm the number showing love and all that. And sadly, it all went south. It all started from when Tonto Dike took off the Churchill from her surname on Instagram. So first people were like, You know, is that a sign? Is there something happening? Isn't there something happening? One of the famous blogs carried the story saying that there might be trouble in paradise. However, reaching out to their camps, they were trying to deny it at the beginning. But I mean, it would all come to light one way or the other. And I mean, it was something, I think it's drama that we were not expecting at all. So Tonto Dike came out talking about, how she'd been lying and trying to cover up for her husband, that she was the one that used to foot the bills, she was the one that bought the car for herself, that her husband did not even take her on trips, he used to take other women on trips. It was ridiculous.
It was crazy.
It was crazy. And so people were saying, all these things you've been
just to
lying.
impress everybody.
Just to impress. And you know what?
I wish I really... Can I just quickly interject?
Okay, yes,
and say,
please.
In 2018, can people please stop taking their fake lives to social media? Stop.
Yes.
Like,
Flex.
please,
You know?
just stop it. Like, it's not healthy, you know?
It's not. It's
All right,
Keeping
I don't
up
think
with the
they'll listen to you.
Joneses, just please
They
don't.
will listen to
Lagos
you.
talks, like talk. We're talking to you out there. Please stop it. Like,
I seriously doubt it.
They won't listen
because
to
you know the
but-
funny
but
thing,
it's good advice.
Yeah, but it's good advice,
Yeah.
honestly. But social media is addictive.
It
yeah,
is
but why is
addictive,
it
yes.
addictive for the
is
wrong
addictive to
reason?
them.
No, but you know why? The thing is, you know me, I'm into documentaries, research,
Yeah.
and all that crap. There's studies showing now that the same way you react to cocaine is the same way you react
I've
to
read
social
that.
media.
I've actually read
when
that.
you get
Yeah.
likes on your Instagram, your
Yes,
Facebook,
yeah,
you
it
release
causes
The
it into your face.
dopamine that's,
Dopamine rush.
is released.
Yeah.
That
And
is
then,
ridiculous.
seriously.
Rats would die literally trying to get dopamine. So it's almost that's what they say. It's almost a losing battle trying to
Yeah.
stop people because you have to put up that fake lifestyle
Yeah.
in order for people to.
But
like.
it catches
I
up
mean,
with you.
No, but think about it. If you put up a post saying I'm hungry, please God save, would anyone like it? So
But
that's
if you put up
people
posting
pictures
that
I think
themselves
Instagram
in,
has made it
anywhere,
worse.
anywhere.
I
In the
think
hotel,
Instagram made it worse.
Dorchester.
Twitter, I mean, you could just talk. It's when you put up pictures. So,
Like a picture of me in face, you know. It's killing.
They're chilling, having a good time. Meanwhile, but that's the thing. I think it's almost like therapy. It's almost like people put up that lifestyle to make themselves feel better.
I believe that
Yes.
as well. It is a
Yes.
form of therapy. A lot of times, that's the reason why you see people say a lot of nonsense on social media. A lot of times, I don't get angry at people for certain things they put out because it's what they're experiencing, it's what they know. It might not be the right way,
True,
but it's
true.
what they know. That's the way they are
but
able
there's
to
so much
release
hate on social
certain things.
media.
It's sad, but I mean,
Yeah, for different reasons. I think maybe because social media is not like there are a lot of things people say to me on social media they will not say to me in person.
of course not.
Yeah, like I
Well,
can't find you, so I'll see by my laptop and go to my
Keyboard
keyboard
warriors.
You
and
know?
just send it to you. I
Like,
mean,
oh, if you want a place, come and visit me and say what you're saying. Man, if they're no, but I mean, like Obama. That did you see the interview with Prince Charles?
Yeah,
Yes.
Harry
Oh,
Harry
Harry,
and
Harry,
Obama.
yeah, I
You know,
like- I love that,
love
yeah.
that, especially the part he was talking about social media,
media.
and how important it is. You know, it's a realm that the world hasn't really discussed. We haven't really spoken
I think
about.
we're
it.
still
still
afraid of
understanding
it.
it.
We don't know exactly. It's a mystery.
so
and
powerful.
We don't understand
It
it,
is so
and so
powerful.
we're afraid of it.
It
So
is
you can
so
see different governments in different countries trying to
Trying to-
clamp down
yeah,
on
that's
it
I don't
because
blame
they don't
China.
get it.
Yeah, because they're like, wait,
You
we
know?
go hold it.
They
Let's
don't
understand this
it.
first.
So you know
Before we
what?
allow it.
Before we allow it, you can
It
get
is
because
crazy.
it's causing a lot of issues, but it's also helping as well. So
It's like
so back to
cramming.
Tom-
I'm sorry about that. It's like cramming 7-point-something billion people in one room.
yeah, that's
Oh
social
yeah,
media.
that's what it is
True.
basically.
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Why
And
is everybody
not-
getting deep today? Like,
Like,
Faith, Iffy, you and I, we need to have our little moment there. We need to have our little moment there. Okay, just quickly on Twitter, Caleb says if they want to continue talking about their fake lives in 2018, no problem. After all, what they do gives the social media community comic relief. Hashtag
true.
sad reality.
Yeah.
Sad indeed.
Sad.
Should we go to phone line?
Oh, yes, we
to see
can.
what Lagos talks. Okay. All right. 13 minutes past the hour of 5. You want to wrap up on that?
Until
Yeah.
yeah, but as we know, they have gone their separate ways.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very dramatic, but now Toto DK is getting her own reality TV show showing that. Haven't you
yeah,
seen?
yeah.
she went over the
promo?
knife.
Let me tell. Yeah, she
She's
she
done
allowed
well.
the cameras go into the theater when they
When they
were
were doing her surgery.
doing her surgery.
Yes.
She did her body.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yes.
I
She
want
said
to-
she's always hated
Guys,
her
But I
body.
don't know what the body looks like now.
Guys, I want to come down.
There'll be
at
an
the bus
unveiling.
to
The bus-
Nigeria. I want to come down. The bus to Nigeria.
It's called King Tonto.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
But you know what? You have to respect her.
Are you serious?
I mean,
Yes,
she's a
yes.
hustler.
The product is
Yeah.
everywhere. You haven't seen it?
You have to respect her. She's doing well.
Oh no, she is a hustler.
Oh yeah, and I love her for that.
You know, at
No matter
first she came
what
out and said,
anyone
no,
says.
she's now changed. She's a Christian. She's, you know.
What does that have to do with it?
Oh,
Being a
no.
Christian, what does it have to do with not wanting to do your body?
I'm
Guys,
tired.
No, I'm not
let's
saying
not
that has
even get
anything.
there.
No, I'm not saying it has anything to do. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that she's had
She
a
could
very
be a
dramatic
Christian.
year.
Yeah, but
You
she
know,
could be a
that's all I
Christian.
mean.
I mean, at the end of the day, she's a human being. A lot of us have a lot in our closet. Sadly, she has exposed hers to the public.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, she's still a human being, guys.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, we wish her all the best in 2018.
We do.
Calgren says, "I love this combo, guys. Thank you. Listening from Benin City. Hashtag
Hey.
big event 913. Walking into 2018 like killer day. Great. 15 minutes gone past the hour of 5. We are going on a break, and when we come back, more reactions from the biggest stories and biggest events on the midday show. Don't go anywhere. It is still the big event, though. 18 minutes past the hour of 5. Welcome back to the big event right here on Lagos Talks 91.3. It's Sadiq, it's Iffy, it's Aura, it's Faith, and it is, of course, Adu. And Joseph is with us in spirit. I need to say that. If you are just joining us, then you missed Sadiq talking about the president's medical trip. We touched on IPOB agitation. We talked about the hero police and SARS. And if you are just joining us, then you have missed the Radio Butterfly discussing the Oscars 2017 bloopers, Tonto DK, and her upcoming documentary, reality TV. I don't know what you want to call it. It is what it is. Reacting on Twitter. Where are we? So Chris Blue says, so happy now that they said churches will be paying tax. Pastors will enhance their stories to make MAGAs pay more. All right, thanks. Caleb says, Adu, I think you would do well as Commissioner of Heart and Soul Matters. That is that is really
Make that Los Angeles or something.
No, it's Imo State. It's only Imo State.
Abuja.
No, only Imo State we have this kind of commission.
And Prosper says, I hope Banky W and his wife could just glean a lesson from Tonto Dike and take away from social media. Calgren says, for me, I don't care whatever Tonto does with her body. Nashi Sabio. Happy New Year, guys. Big event 913.
I love the way you speak Pidgin, alright. Nashi Sabio. I love it. I love it.
My favorite one is Six Don Knack.
She said it's Queen
Has knacked. Yes. Six hasn't knacked yet. But it will knack soon. Until then, Iffy, what's still...
All right, next, still here in Nigeria, P-Square. Their breakup as well was a huge story. Of course, it was messy on social media. They're both coming to talk trash about each other. Remember the video that came out where it was the brothers, they were at someone's office. I think it was Festus Kiyamo's office. Yeah, I don't know what they were trying to...
He was a lawyer.
He's a lawyer. I don't know what exactly they were talking about. And you'd see in the video that they almost started fighting.
Wow.
You know how people have to come between them, try to separate them. So they almost started fighting. However, we heard that the video was from last year.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, the thing is, P-Square is over. So guys, we just have to face it.
Are you sad about that? I mean, I'd rather they were over as a business so that they can concentrate on family first.
Yeah, but I feel like, because now they've got, they have their different music careers at the moment. We have Mr. P and then Rude Boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they've separated. But the thing is, I believe we fell in love with them because they were P-Square. Twins, singing, dancing together.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say that anything's going to happen to their music careers at the moment, but...
What was that, Sadiq?
Nothing.
Well, Mr. P has 2 singles and a future. I don't know what Rude Boy. I think he also has a single.
Rude Boy has a single, but I don't think he did well because I haven't heard it.
He didn't do as well as...
Sad. But the truth is, we have newbies coming up. I feel like they would have left when the crowd was still applauding together as
like
a
not live
group.
fighting, right?
Not fighting. No,
Yeah.
not fighting because
or could this be some giant publicity stunt?
If it is,
that maybe
nobody's finding it funny.
2018
I
they
tell
come
you,
back
I don't think
together.
we would pay any attention if they come back in 2018.
really?
I doubt it. The
Well,
thing
yeah,
is,
We won't find
Gone before and come back.
no,
so
it's
I
too
don't know if
messy.
it's going
We
to-
have Whiskey and Davido to look at the moment.
Yeah.
We have
I have
Coca.
Mohit's crew.
We have a lot of people coming up.
Coming
Do
up,
you understand?
yeah.
But Davido said he's not fighting anyone.
No, he's not. I'm not talking about
Yeah,
fighting.
wow.
I'm saying like we have these young ones coming
Oh,
up.
oh,
So
oh,
you
oh.
saying you're trying to use publicity? Like no,
It
please,
wouldn't
no,
work.
it wouldn't work. But I mean, speaking about breakups, I mean, Mohit performed together. Davido's concert, I
It
loved
was
it.
also
I almost
nice.
cried. I was just telling my
Oh my
friends,
god.
oh, this is so emotional. I can't believe Davido did this.
I mean, is Mohit's what it would be like for me, like if the Spice Girls ever reunited?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, all right,
Pretty
cool,
much.
great. Then
But
I'm for
It was so good.
Yeah, it
Yes,
was. I loved it. I danced. But anyways, yeah. So that's that. P Square breaking up. That was a huge story
Yep,
as
yep.
well. Now moving on to another story. Finally, guys, we made it to the palace.
Merry 20.
Y'all made it. I didn't make it.
Merry
Alright.
20.
We made it to the palace, Sadiq.
What palace?
Your
Your
sister.
black African
Your half
What
sister.
palace? What palace? I
The
know what you're talking
Buckingham
about.
Palace.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right. So what you
yeah.
mean half sister? Oh, you people can't claim. Jesus.
Exactly.
Can I just let you? Let me
What
just
you
put it.
mean, half
Let me just put it
sister?
to you this
From
way.
where?
Let me put it to you this way. Let me let you understand
Yeah.
that
Break it down.
somewhere
You're gonna
in
hear
the
family tree now.
future,
Yes.
There will be
Somewhere
a
in-
Blake.
wait,
A
there
Blake.
will be a curly hair,
Yes.
potential ginger,
Yes.
brown eyed, beautiful brown tan skin.
Oh, so that's
Royal
your
girl.
Yes.
That's all I care about.
We have sprinkled
But
black in the
let's-
We
royal
have
family.
diluted. No.
Let's get back into the
We have
genetics.
diluted.
That blood is not going to come to pass because.
Excuse me.
Could.
Could you stop sipping or whatever it
Dominance
is?
and recessive genes. It's possible.
Because
Your
no,
next
you
baby
need
could be
two
full
recessive
blood.
genes
Hey,
to make it.
please,
make
please,
it
Oh, you
balance.
never know.
Please, very
You
important.
never know.
right?
You never know.
Maybe the queen had.
Hey, hey.
Oh my God! What are you saying?
You never know.
Hey, you never know, man. You never know.
Oh my god.
Okay, guys.
Those people don't say you
And
say
if
black
Harry,
baby.
if Prince Harry and
Something
Meghan
wrong.
have a daughter, she could potentially marry a black man.
Exactly.
Or
And they
And
can't
dilute
really
the
stop
gene all
it.
over
Seriously
again.
doubt that.
Keep
Because they'll be
diluting
like,
it.
Mom, they'll be like, Daddy, but Mommy is half black, half white.
Well,
So-
but here's the thing. I found it interesting in
Okay.
this story. Before, by this time, everybody called her black until she got
She's mixed
engaged, and now
race,
she's biracial. No, here's the
Yeah.
thing in
But she's-
America.
but she's
so
mixed.
you know how they start calling you biracial because now you're going into the royal
The
family.
royal
Politically
family.
So you're no
correct.
longer
So you're no
black.
more black, you know?
You're now
Exactly, you're
biracial.
did they ever
biracial.
call Barack
You know what,
Obama biracial?
Let's.
When he
No.
wasn't?
He's not.
But he is, isn't he?
He's mixed
He is.
race.
Exactly, but he was
Exactly, that's what I'm
called
saying.
So just like
Well, for
Meghan.
this
Oh,
one, and if
yeah,
you
I hear what you're
check all
saying.
of
Yeah,
the
but
stories,
you know,
they
it's-
called her biracial.
But you
Nobody
know
called
what?
her black.
Guys, let's just accept.
Let's take the entertainment side of it and
Let's
just
take it
enjoy.
and let's be happy that I
Yeah.
just one of our
Alice.
sisters.
And she's not acting
So I was
anymore.
finally-
Yeah, she's not acting anymore. And I just love how they sort of met. Because I spoke about it one day, and Prince Harry was saying that he used to watch Suits and he was a fan. And he wanted to meet her, one of his friends.
Hooked it up.
Then hooked them up.
Wait, is she the one in...
Suits!
Is she like
She's the one in
no wait, the what's the
I don't know, but she's in
the
Suits.
lawyer,
Yes,
the
the
female
temp.
that she was a temporary.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, her.
It's her.
Chineke May.
you don't
Are you
know?
serious? I had no idea.
Don't know.
Chineke.
You live under a rock.
Harry.
To see Sadiq in the studio.
Instagram live.
For real? Hey, Harry.
It's her, Meghan Markle.
Nico. Harry, nice one. I didn't really get.
Are you sure he's not
Sadiq.
Igbo?
But guys, wouldn't it be nice if you had that power to be like, okay, I just watched Anthony Joshua and I think I would like to date him. Let's check it out.
I just
Dream guy.
I just watched Anthony Lacazette, and I'd like to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Like
It, can't,
I said,
it doesn't really
Arsenal.
work like that.
Oh! I
As
see
both
you.
of you are not in the royal family.
Exactly.
Let me tell you
It
something
can't
about
quite
Nigeria.
work.
So, Dick, let me tell you something
Yes.
about Nigeria.
Uh-huh.
Don't underestimate us. Because we have connections, places that you've never thought of. I tell you, she said it. I tell you.
If just from
Let's
2019
get-
I tell you.
2018.
So it was
If
surprising. It was
If
surprising
Joshua.
when you see us somewhere.
No problem. I believe.
If
I'm a
Joshua.
believer. If it just
And then you can say, "Oh, I knew her."
mean?
Fall back.
Fallers, I'll be in your house, God damn it.
Oh my goodness.
That's
yes.
the entertainment segment.
That
right there.
is. Okay, so should I move on to another story?
Let's take a couple of calls. and
Okay.
see what people say. Lagos Talks.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, good evening. Who's calling?
Hello,
Alright.
good morning. Well done, morning. I said morning.
See, there's a story that made headlines. Funny enough, I read a lot. I read a lot.
Yeah.
I don't have money, but I read. There's a story that made headlines that people come out in Nigerian telly or radio. You get even our press. Do you know that story?
Yeah, tell us.
Dr. Lata Kaplan's research. You get as a word with that man. Whereby they are doing a research, whereby they've even done it, they'll take a cell from a woman and create him. They call it going back to the days of the Amazon.
What?
They will create a child, but they can only give birth to female children. So they want to go back to those days of Amazon, a world without men. You get Dr. Lata Kaplan, Australia. You research on it.
Alright, thank you. We shall check on.
What a story.
That's interesting. All I heard was bone therapy and being able to create,
Let's
you know.
go back
Alright.
to the phone lines.
Just-
Lagos Talks.
Hello?
Hello, good evening. Who's calling?
Good evening, Orion.
Hi.
This is Kelvin from Benin.
Hey, welcome to the big event.
Sadiq, good
Hey,
evening.
evening. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Ify,
Hey.
I'm doing fine. Orion, Uncle,
How
good
are
evening,
you?
Sadiq, and Abdul.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
great.
we're all here.
Yeah. I'm actually listening online. It's as if online is quite slower. I don't know.
It's slower.
Oh,
Yeah, it's lower.
sorry.
I'm
There's a
just
slight
listening
delay.
now.
Yes,
I'm
about a
just-
couple of
Sorry,
seconds.
yeah.
All right. First of all, Happy New Year to you guys.
Yay, happy New Year, man.
Just 2 hours from now, we'll be New Year.
Exactly, we'll make it, we'll make it.
Amen.
Definitely. First, I want to thank you guys, the management, for bringing up this particular program for us to allow us to know what's going on, what happened during the year, and all that. I think I missed a lot, especially issues concerning policies. I know Sadiq must have handled
You'll
that
get faith,
critically.
don't worry. You'll get faith.
No,
Just
we'll
keep
get
listening.
back to it.
I hope so. Yes, on the issue of church, I think church are about to be taxed according to the Lagos State. So I saw a report that the Lagos State lawmaker
Yeah, about to be taxed. That's the
No, this is a welcome
yes.
development.
Yeah.
It's a welcome development. You know, I know most people will not be okay with it, but I think it's time we start taxing these people. They make money, whether you like it or not. They make money
Okay.
from tithe, from offerings, from all sorts, even a blessing offering, anointing offering, holy oil
Anointing
offering,
offering.
blessing. So it is time that we start taxing them, so that Christ Peters, Jesus Christ Peters, I don't think it's sinful or it's condemnable if you start taxing these people.
Alright.
Thank you,
So that we
Calgren.
can use money to, do those things that we need in the country.
Absolutely.
Let me also talk about the issue of the accident that occurred. The son of the president.
We haven't even got there.
And we're on the
We haven't got there.
entertainment section,
Well,
so
yeah,
we
well,
haven't got there. But thank you,
All
Calgren. Thank you.
I may come back.
All
Alright,
right.
please
Cheers,
do.
bye. Lagos Talks. Entertainment.
Bye.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to the big event.
Hey.
Ify, how come you did not mention Giroud in your analysis?
Ah,
I was trying to,
Who's-
keep
who's
him
on the
out
line?
of this.
Oh,
you know.
Lisa.
You have
Oh,
a man
Lisa.
at the big event.
I
And
know,
she
I have
now
to.
chinned him and went for Anthony Joshua.
No,
See this life?
The reason why is because
Yeah,
you know
he's good.
Giroud is married. I have to be careful the way I talk about him.
Okay.
I have to
okay.
be, you know,
Understand. We can't do these things in
we
public.
can't really,
Okay, this is Lisa. I'm calling from
Hi, Elisa.
Hey, everyone.
Hey.
I think one of my top stories for 2017 would have to be the reconciliation of Davido and Wizkid. Now we have world peace.
We do.
So I'm really thankful that happened. But
Yes.
it has been an absolutely great year, and you guys have made it even that much more better. So we
Oh.
look forward to hearing more in 2018. We love you guys. You guys are amazing.
Thank
so
you.
much,
Thank you
Elisa.
for being a valid part of it, Elisa. Thank you to all of you for being a valid part of it.
Yes.
We'll say our thanks at the end. Lagos Talks. Okay, all right. All right, 31 minutes past the hour of 5. Iffy.
Okay,
Let's
so
round off with you.
the next story is the bombing at the Ariana Grande concert that took place, I believe, in May. That's 22nd of May. It left 22 people dead and over 100 people injured. It was a very, very sad day because, you know, Ariana Grande, the type of crowd that she pulls, they're very young, very young children. Yeah. And, you know, after that happened, she had to hold a benefit concert so that all the monies that was gotten from the concert would go towards those people that survived this incident. But our hearts do go out to the families that lost.
Yeah. Too many attacks
kids.
happened this year.
It was sad.
Yeah.
That was sad. All right, should I move on to the... Okay.
Quickly read some tweets for you.
Fine.
So Caleb Joshua says, "I'm here for you, Iffy." Smiles.
Hey.
I'm free. Brother Adu. Adu says, "Brother Adu, please do the hookup."
My pleasure.
You know his name is Caleb Joshua, so he might be,
Joshua.
Yeah, he might be in line.
You get it?
You
Like
know,
for
the
like.
throne of Joshua.
Then Matt Vin says, "That's no problem at all. Anthony Joshua's details are with me, and we talk often. Should you know if you're interested, then you should let Matt Vin know."
Matt Vin, I'm very much interested.
Okay.
Just
Holla
at your girl.
Caleb comes back to say, "Please, guys, which segment will we put O'Brien?" O'Brien.
Albright.
Oh, O'Brien, I guess.
O'Brien, as in O''Brian.
I think it's
Albright.
O'Bright. I think
Who's
it's O'Bright.
O'Bright?
That
O'Bright
calls
is the
it.
person
He just
who
called
talks
it.
about stem cells
Talking
and
about
Stem
Amazon.
cells
the Amazon.
and reproducing women. Yeah.
Oh, O'Brien. I
yeah.
heard it differently. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Matt Vin says, "Expect more in 2018. Me, I'm just going to observe events for..." Yeah, a lot of people are going to sip a lot of tea and mind their own business. That's what I think is going to happen. Yeah, just eat chocolate, grow that melanin, and mind your business.
Yes.
Caleb says, "Alright, if you're going for the wedding, the royal wedding, well, yeah, I'm going. It's on the
Okay.
19th of May.
Oh,
I'm
really?
going. Yeah, I'm going." He says, "I'll
I
be
don't
your
know.
official date. Joint Ivy." I don't know that when they...
Joint Ivy.
I don't know when they sent it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We'll see about that. Alright, Iffy, you can...
Okay, so I'm going to end with this one.
Sure.
Adesua and Banky W.
Aw.
Guys.
Bad.
Hands down, one of the biggest stories
Boo-hoo.
in entertainment. Why? Because did you say
Did you say boo-hoo?
No, don't worry, I'm beefing.
Yeah.
Did you
like-
fancy Adesua?
No.
I know
She's
someone that
not
had a crush on
Sadiq's type,
Adesua.
actually.
Huh? What did you say?
She's not Sadiq's type.
That's how do you know my type?
I know your
I don't know.
type.
Please tell us what Sadiq's type is.
Yeah.
Do a
hookup. Do a hookup.
My type is very simple.
No,
It
that's
doesn't
not
have to be
explain.
female.
One of your hookups next year should be Sadiq getting married.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Excuse
you're
me.
getting
I do. Let's hear his
Of course,
type.
very
Oh,
soon.
you want to hear Sadiq's type?
Yeah,
okay, so
yeah.
let me just
From
give you
the
like
Love
a
Doctor.
sketch.
So the ladies are
Yeah.
listening, right?
So the ladies are listening. So if you're
Okay.
listening,
Oh, really?
you have to, number one, be very proficient in the kitchen.
No.
Wait.
He
number
likes
two-
food.
Yeah. Number two, Sadiq's he likes them rounded in the right places.
What?
Sadiq, hey.
No.
So you like that good?
No,
See,
but of
that's
course,
the complete
Guys, it's 35 minutes past 5.
Can we not discuss this now, please?
Okay, let's not discuss it.
Please, thank you very much. Let us move
So
on.
call in if you'd like to talk to Sadiq. That ain't too much.
Oh my God! All right, don't open a can of worms right now.
Please.
Sorry. It's the last Friday of the year, guys.
They can just tweet at him, you know.
No, don't
Sadiq
do
asked
that.
for Sadiq Cyrus.
Well, all right. Okay.
2018 is the year that you slide all the way to
no.
his
But I've already given the dates now. It's around the corner, 2035. You guys should be patient.
Sadiq, please.
All right. As we round off entertainment, it's been a great year in entertainment, right?
It has.
Yes.
But yes, Adesua and Banky W,
Yeah.
number one, a lot of people always used to hound Banky W saying, get married, get married, get married. Not knowing that he had something absolutely amazing cooking in the kitchen. When he proposed to Adesua, we did not even know. Just and I love the fact that they controlled their story. When they just wanted to, release the pictures, they released the pictures. At first, people found it hard to believe because, as you know, they played lead on the movie, The Wedding Party, where they got married. So people assumed that, okay, it was the sequel.
Yeah.
And then later on, we got word that it was actually for real.
For real.
That they had been dating, and he proposed, I believe, when they were in Dubai at a point. I'm not really sure if it was Dubai or where they traveled to. And, I mean, they make an absolutely beautiful couple. This proposal, it trended for days on social media. Days upon days, because people couldn't believe the fact that bad boy. And you know they have an
Is
image.
he a bad boy?
No, that's the image they have for him.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Bad
I
boy
didn't know
Banky
that.
W.
Good girl.
Good
Girl
girl
next
Adesua.
door.
Adesua.
Yeah.
Girl next door Adesua.
Aw.
So it was a beautiful fit. Beautiful
What?
fit.
Bad boy and the girl next door.
That's always been the fit.
That's the
Let's take a
fairy
look at
tale
Beyonce
story
and
now.
Jay-Z.
Beyonce
Oh,
was
yeah.
not the girl next
No.
door.
That's the
Well,
thing.
she was
She has
kinda.
that
She
image
was
sort
kinda.
of.
Yeah, she has that
She
image.
has. Yes,
That's
she
the image
does.
she has.
Well, maybe the ghetto girl next door.
Sorry.
Definitely.
Shade.
You know a lot of good girls like bad boys.
Absolutely.
So
But
that's,
I
Is
think
that how it
that's
works?
been the
yeah,
balance,
but you're not
sort
supposed to
of.
marry your bad boy.
But
You're
that's the
just
thing, that's the
supposed
mistake
to-
girls
Ah.
make. They want to marry the bad boy.
Yeah.
Sadly,
so
and they get hurt.
don't marry the bad boy.
Don't marry.
Stop spoiling my mind.
Yeah.
Are you a bad boy?
That's what people say about me. It's not fair. I'm a butterfly on the inside.
only one
You- you've told me
butterfly.
But
some
he's a
stories,
wasp
so
on
I
the
feel like
outside.
No, but that was in the past. Before people change.
You are repentant
Of
bad
course,
boy.
I have changed my
Okay.
ways.
All right then.
You change your ways. That's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
There's room for change.
Yes,
Change begins with you.
exactly.
I stand with change.
Yeah, stand with me.
Change can come.
Amen.
All things change.
God.
Sorry, I thought I just put that. Well,
Yes. Yeah.
yes.
That's
Iffy, I'd
pretty
like
much
to
it.
thank you very much
Oh,
for giving us an
fantastic.
entertaining edition of the Midday Show. I know there were more stories. If you just want to highlight them, because I'm sure people are going to be like, oh, but you didn't talk about this, you didn't talk about that, you didn't talk about
Beyonce dropping the bomb, saying that she was pregnant. Remember the
Yes.
picture?
Gave us twins.
baby.
The most
And then
liked
she gave us
picture
twins.
on Instagram.
Most liked picture on Instagram.
Wow.
Ever.
Fantastic.
Beat that, Kim Kardashian.
I-
You know.
Yeah, even
I'm just-
Shade.
Of course, get the late edition, and we will, of course, incorporate sports edition. Now, I just want to reiterate that there are just too many stories to cover in the year of 2017. So, whilst we recognize that there are bigger stories out there, you know, the Dino Malaya soundtrack, the Battle of the Jollof Fries, and
Which
so
we
on.
won, by the way. Just saying.
Have you tried all three? Have you tried Nigerian, Ghanaian, and
I have eaten
Senegalese?
all kinds of rice.
Yeah, but have you had?
But have you had Senegalese
Senegalese,
jollof
I didn't even know
fries?
they had
Oh
jollof
my
fries.
I've not had Senegalese, but I'm just saying, I'm being
Oh,
biased.
did you know that
Yeah.
Aisha Sase also strayed into the fray when she
Oh,
said
yeah.
that Sierra Leonean jollof rice is actually good?
What
and
does she know?
Nigerians came for her.
What exactly?
Yeah. I
see?
mean, you don't just say these things on ground.
I'm telling
You,
you.
you just don't. So
Jollof rice
just
as
keep
an
your
institution.
jollof rice opinions to yourself
How
and
about
just eat jollof rice is all I can say. Anyway, before the break, I asked her, the one who goes there, the one that has no holds bars, the one that can only deal with, you know, big people telling one another to shut up. And she
Finished and oh my God, you told me to shut up.
what?
And the drama began.
And how was that for you?
It was actually interesting, you know, to watch.
You loved it,
Both
really.
of them. Why are you letting me admit this on air?
That has to be one of the biggest events.
Well, it
for
actually
you.
did go viral.
Yeah.
It
Yep.
actually trended. I'm like, oh my God.
Yes.
You know, and I got calls from all of them, like, you know, and they said, Faith, you have to help me out. Everybody's calling me. You know, put out the video. I'm like, okay, sorry.
Well, thanks for rectifying that. So nobody told anybody to shut up
No.
Officially.
officially. It was just
Officially.
tone it
It
down.
was a
keep
semantics,
quiet.
basically. Keep quiet, shut up,
Yeah.
you know.
It's all relative. All right, so talk to us. The weekends have been your babies. So, you know, that I think that's fair to say. Guest upon guest, controversial topics and interviews, and just getting to the nooks and crannies of things on the Lagos Weekend Show, Saturday Breakfast Show, Conversations with Faith.
All of
You
it.
said everything.
Yeah, did I say all?
All of it.
All right, so
Okay.
talk us through.
Okay, so we're going to bring a couple of stories. First, let me correct this because, Kelvin called and said it. I think somebody else also called and said it, that churches will be paying taxes. That is not anywhere. I don't know where you found it. We just know that the FR, let me get your name properly. They say that churches must be prepared to pay tithe on their business ventures,
Aha.
not on
Not
business
on-
ventures, not on tithes, not on
tithes,
offerings.
not on-
You
So
know,
if a
on,
church
that's
owns
right,
churches,
it's
I was wondering how
FRCS.
they were going to be able
Because
to
I
do
was
that
wondering how they
interesting.
were
No
gonna tax-
churches
Yeah.
in the world is taxed, and Nigeria cannot be the first to start taxing you on
Yes.
your
It's
offerings and your tithes.
Non-government.
Yes, it's an NGO, so they are going to be paying tax. Said they should be ready to prepare, but it is not even a law yet, so let's not get too excited.
Yeah.
They still have to have roundtable conversations. You know, it's something that if it's going to be a law, you have to go through the lawmakers. So you know what? Let's just calm down, everybody.
Well, thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah, just so I should
That's what
clarify
we
that.
do.
you know. And then, so let's talk about Ikoyi Gate for a minute.
You
Yes.
mean round the corner where all of us passed?
Oh my
I had no
God.
inkling.
Really?
Because all I said was, out of all that money, all I said was, I just want £27,000. Like, I'm not
Only.
even greedy. That's
Only.
Only,
Just.
right?
Do you know how far
Only.
£27,000 is? It's
I
not
mean,
very far.
oh my God, it was. I think that's like one of the biggest gate stories of the year. And well, let me start from the bottom. Like the whistleblower, the real whistleblower, he's been paid 325 million, and he is now out of the country. His lawyer was very quick to tell us that he jetted out, immediately got paid, and it made me wonder: is this not supposed to be a secret thing? We all, so that means that you're putting the life of this guy, you know, in jeopardy, because it's a whistleblower is supposed to be a secret thing, so
Yeah,
nobody
yeah.
can look for you. And you know, but then his lawyer is like bragging about it. Anyway, moving on. This happened in April, right? The EFCC carried out a sting operation, you know, and they found over $50 million in an apartment in different
Thankfully, there's no
currencies.
DSS at the building.
No DSS. no
No
DSS.
clashes.
So no
clashes.
standoff, you know. And they actually employ bankers to come help them count the money because it was that
Yeah,
much.
because could you, as a
Yeah.
human being, like,
it was that much.
I would be hyperventilating just at
Around the top.
So-
See the amount
I'd
of
just be
money.
like, one for me, one for
for
them.
me.
It's my counting
That's
fee.
for the people.
No, we should actually look at the guys that counted the money and, you know, give them kudos. That nobody walks
Yeah.
away with anything.
Was it a round figure, by the way?
Well, it was like different
you know,
currencies.
I've always-
so it's not like...
Yeah,
Yeah, they get around that it up.
You know,
Oh my
sometimes
God.
they round it up
To the nearest whole number.
You remember the Yakubu story?
Yeah,
The guy.
yeah, then they ran it, but it wasn't a round figure.
That's
It
what I'm
was just-
saying. That if you were stashing money, wouldn't you stash it round?
No, because you go to that apartment and
Well,
pick some
but how
every
we know?
time
How do
you
we
need
know?
it.
No, here's
No.
the thing. Here's the thing with the
I
Ikoyi
don't-
gates. You know, like, we don't know exactly what the story is.
Yeah,
Even up until now, I don't know if you know what the story is, but there were different stories that flew around.
Yeah.
First, the EFCC said that, you know, they've been following some NIA officials before that they were involved in some corrupt practices. So when they now got the tip, so they went there. And this building, of course, is owned by PDP's former chairman Muazu. Yes, you know, and then
yes,
several other top people have
Apartments
in that
block,
building.
yeah.
And so this,
think a bank
the
at some
guard.
point
I feel like it went through a list of people. Moabudu, Rotimi
well, the
Amechi.
people who said
NIA.
Moabudu
Yeah.
said that Rotimi Amechi paid for the flat for the car.
The
And that
speculations
was-
were too much.
That was by the governor of River State.
Yeah, there were too many accusations, too many funny stories.
And Michael Zirko met his lawyer,
Uh-huh.
you know, and they said that he rented the apartment for her, you know. So, well, she came out and say, well, it's not
She
my apartment,
categorically,
you know.
vehemently
Denied
denied.
it. Wouldn't you
any-
deny it? Anyway. I'm
No,
just
if
saying.
it's my money, I'd be like, yes.
Oh, you would tell us where you got that kind of money. Anyway, so
I don't trust banks.
so the NIA,
don't
the
trust
NIA now came out to say that it was for a covert operation.
Mhm.
wow.
You know that the
very
former
long
president approved of.
Mm.
So you make you start to wonder if it's a covert operation. How come? Of course, you do not. The EFCC doesn't know about it.
One,
And can I just interject? How covert and expensive is this operation that it needs $43 billion, £27,000? What is that operation that needs that?
It's covert. That's why you don't
Humongous.
know
exactly.
it.
That's what we
It's
don't know.
covert.
It's
You
a
don't
matter of
know.
national
It's
security.
matters of national
This is,
security.
Yeah.
didn't they have a problem when they said, $1 billion is too much to
Yeah,
fight Boko
for-
Haram?
Well, that's
so
open.
if Boko Haram is like the biggest thing one of the biggest operations that we need to combat, what is more expensive than that in this country?
You never. That's
You
why.
never know.
That's,
That's the
why
thing.
it's a covert
It's
operation.
clear.
So
We're
you
not
don't know.
Word of the day.
Well,
covert.
yeah.
Correct, yeah.
No,
We're having a
Professor.
COVID meeting.
Checking on me, no, it's a covert operation. Calm down.
Oh my God! Really?
I love that.
Anyway, after all is said and done, we just know that the EFCC, they got the courts to forfeit the money for them, so the court forfeited money to the federal government. Then it became the issue of the whistleblower. So you now have about 4 people coming out saying, I'm the whistleblower,
Yeah.
I'm the whistleblower, I'm the whistleblower. And it became an issue. At the end of the day, lawyers, they say taking the federal government to court.
Yep.
I'm like, this whistleblowing policy is on another level because everybody wanted 5% or 2.5%.
Yeah, 5
Imagine
and
what
2.5.
that can do to you. 2.5% of that
Hell.
entire
Listen,
money.
If I remember you to no, I
You need to touch your mouth.
Listen.
Man,
I want my 5%.
oh, yeah.
if I'm gonna take the gamble of blowing the whistle, I want my 5%. I don't want 325 million. I want my 860, and then I can fly wherever I rightly want to fly to.
Oh no, but I know what was interesting was when they started saying, "Oh, you know that he's not psychologically."
Don't worry about that.
That was the most hilarious comment I ever heard.
You know what? I actually defend that comment.
No.
You know the funny
By
thing?
Professor
They will crucify me for this, but I'll defend that.
All right,
Okay.
please do.
Case in point, the American lottery. You know how many people have won the lottery in America, and you know the history of what's happened to them.
Yeah, I've
No,
read
do you know?
documentaries.
Do you know?
People go mad, they go bankrupt.
Exactly.
Everything.
Now, wait.
But then it's his money. He can do whatever he wants with it.
Two
Well, they did the
angles to
lottery
it.
anyway.
Two angles to it. There's the lottery aspect where people literally have. I wouldn't say go mad, but you don't expect that kind of money. It's not something you're used to dealing with.
Yeah.
That's the one hand. Now, if they're trying to protect a whistleblower and you give someone that amount of money,
He'll go crazy.
not even go crazy. He's going to spend and splurge, and then the cover is blown. And then if he gets killed as a result, then who do we blame?
No, but they
So
didn't
it wasn't.
really like
No,
that.
but the thing is, it wasn't even a case of what I felt.
We'll
should
get
have
you.
been-
Siddiq, we'll get
wait,
Okay,
what I feel should have been done, or what I think is the process is, you get the guy, you take him through psychological, not evaluation to say that he's mad or he's crazy, but to prepare him for the amount of money that he's going to receive. Not because it's going to make him mad, but because you're trying to protect him. At the end of the day, if this guy had been caught or he'd gotten the money, he'd been out there, he'd splurged, and he had been killed or attacked as a result, the blame would go straight
We'll
back
go
to the government.
I'm just saying that
That's
it
the
needs
thing,
the
so you
employee
have
to
to
help them
prepare.
put out the information better.
Thank you. I know. Thank you. Thank you very much. I know.
Because what we got was he's going to
going to
go
run
crazy.
mad.
So you
That's
know
the
what? We need to.
Yeah.
put
If
him
I'm
under
old enough
evaluation.
to whistle
And I mean, you
blow.
can't say that to somebody about his money. You're not sitting there
Guys,
trying to chicken
yeah,
out.
but
I
of
think
his
it's a
no,
big
but
person
his
that
money.
found that money because first they were offering him the lesser amount and he had the audacity to say he doesn't want to collect it. Let me tell you something, if you're hungry and they pay that type of money, you will collect it. But
No,
because
but
you've seen that type of money, you know.
It's not
No,
enough.
Exactly, you know, so I know.
I don't know.
So
I know this,
I believe that person.
this
is
might
a
be
big
speculation, but
individual.
I heard. This is not confirmed, but
Okay.
I heard that the people involved were planning to do other things to that money, not whistleblow. I heard that. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's confirmed, but I heard that just that there were other sources, unconfirmed sources, and that's why there were a lot of people involved because this guy went ahead and did the whistleblowing, and then these other guys
And
like,
they're
hey,
no, you shouldn't
did
have
we
done
not
that,
have a plan? You know, okay, so why didn't we? So that's
So
what.
that was why
caused
they
it.
started going to
Yeah,
court and saying,
that
I'm the
was-
whistleblower, I'm the whistleblower.
But I totally
The real
understand.
whistleblower, please stand
No,
down.
the federal
Stand
government,
up.
no, they finally picked somebody. And they've
Yeah.
paid him
They paid
part
him.
of his
They paid
money.
him, yeah.
And his lawyer said he left the country the very next day.
Yeah, it's,
blame him?
that should have been the plan
Yeah.
from
Gone
the
for a new
beginning.
identity.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I also think that at the end of the day, the federal government didn't protect the guy enough because the entire story was out there.
Yeah.
So if you're saying
Yeah.
this is supposed to be a
Covert.
secret
But
thing,
the only
People
reason
are
it got
supposed to
out
do
there
this.
was because they didn't handle
Well,
it properly
exactly.
in the very beginning.
So at the end of the day, you know, how secret is this whistleblowing
we
thing?
don't-
And honestly,
No.
I asked this question. I was like, what is the future of whistleblowing? Because this first example is going to deter a lot of people to say, okay, so they're going to start giving me 2.5, 3.25%. There's going to be all these clauses that I'm just not
if that's
long as it's
find an
fun,
opportunity.
Right.
I'm on a
Whistle. I will bring an orchestra. What do you mean?
If it was 1% of that money,
If
it's
it
still
was
I'm gonna
0.5%,
blow the whistle,
I
y'all.
will blow,
Be
blow.
my whistleblower.
Oh my god.
I can't
So
believe
yeah,
you
alright,
just
that's the question. That's the question though.
Okay,
You know,
thank
that
you.
what is going to
Okay,
be the
thank
future
you.
for whistleblowing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
You know,
what is
let's
going
just
to be
talk
the
about
future
that.
for whistleblowing? Yeah, we can talk about
After
that.
that.
0809 191 3913, 0809 222 0913, and 0809 234 5913. You can tweet in hashtag the big event 913 to our Twitter handle at Lagos Talks 913. Isaac says, Sadiq, a beg give me money. If I go mad, make I mad. A beg pay me money. FG didn't handle the whistleblower case
Nah,
well,
they
Sha.
didn't. They didn't.
All right, let's go to the phone lines. Lagos Talks. It is Lagos Talks.
Hello, Lagos Talks.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Welcome to the big event. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Ike.
IK, welcome to the conversation.
Hello, IK.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm fine.
How are
thank
you all in the studio?
Yeah.
Are we all in the
Yeah.
studio?
Yeah, that's okay. All right. I think the question, I think, does not even require any kind of, because the future of whistleblowing is very bright. Now, people say, the matter was not well handled. But have you also looked at it from the fact that there was a lot of inquiry around it, so that information had to be divulged eventually? Something that was supposed to have been done surreptitiously.
Yep.
So there was a lot of suspicion around it that forced the, the government
I get what you're saying.
certain information that was supposed to be classified.
Just to show us that it was real, right?
Indeed, the finance minister had assured that this guy will be paid.
Yeah.
Now, Sage came out to say that before payment was made, the process had to be followed.
Yeah.
Standard practice.
Yeah.
Especially in a penalized environment, that we find ourselves in. Let's also not forget the fact that, financial constraints too played another, role in this. Government had to look for the money to pay.
It's meant to be part of the money. So how are they looking for money?
No, it's part
that
of
was
the money
already
they
there.
found.
It's part of the money they
They
found.
don't have to look for that money.
I know, but this is a process. Yes.
Fine, we understand there was a process. Yes,
Yeah,
definitely. They had to make sure there were no legal issues involved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the money paid and the money found, was it not in foreign currency?
There was
Naira and
There was
foreign
Naira.
currency.
Pounds, dollars, and Naira.
Everything.
The bulk of the money, what was it?
43 billion
And they could have converted it and given you this
Naira.
money.
No.
That is, I don't think that is an issue.
Calm down. That's what I'm saying. If they needed to convert it, was it not a process? Would it not have required a process?
Bureaucracy.
So that eventually what was paid was in Naira, according to information revealed.
Okay.
Now concerning the money itself, that money that was found in the towers. Now this money was suspicious money. Initially people had accused the government that the government was responsible for that fraud, but it was eventually revealed for those who are interested to know. Have any axe to grind with government.
Okay.
It was eventually revealed that this money was part of what was released, during that period where, election that was supposed to be, presidential election that was supposed to be held.
I get
speculation.
Okay, thank you so much for your call though, but thank you. Lagos Talks.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello, very
Good evening.
All
right.
It's already.
I'm right here. Who's calling?
Okay, my name is Calvin.
Calvin.
Okay.
Before I make my very quick point, I love your shows on Mondays and Wednesdays, the recap.
Oh, thank you.
But please, always allow people to make their views first, because you cut people off easily.
If you take too long, I'm going to have to cut you off.
If it's time
Like
to
now.
if it's 2 minutes, just make it.
Yeah, Kevin. You know what? Let's address Ore on the recap.
Thank
On
you.
the kneecap.
Yes.
So anything else to do with the big event?
Exactly.
Big event.
Yeah.
What people have said about the money and all the whole thing is well stated. But my whole question now is for everybody in the studio there. What has happened? There was a panel set up. Let's set up committee there. Even though when they say take it come to bed, but they will say set up a committee. Before you finish setting up the committee, they don't by the person. So after the whole committee panel, the vice president, well-respected vice president, I love so much, submitted everything. What has happened to the man, the people, the characters in question?
Well,
All right.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
then.
you.
Thank you,
Is
Kelvin.
this
I
like
was-
an edition of your show, Faith? With the book?
No, this is something. I mean, it's open
it's-
information, so something we
yeah.
can actually just quickly go through now. But I just want to say that the issue of the fact that the money for election is all speculations because
It's all
nothing can be
speculation.
proven, so we
Exactly.
cannot categorically say
It's
it
for
was for
election, or
election.
it's for this, it's
The
for
only
that.
reason that came up was because they said that they found posters of the
of
election.
that, yeah, but that
but
doesn't-
that's speculation, so you can't
speculation.
categorically say it means that money was for them.
No.
We don't know yet. And I said that they were the ones doing the money. So, and I mean, Kelvin, we're involved in
Well,
this story,
Cashgate,
so-
Cashgate, Craiggate, Towers Gate is a big story.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Well, okay, so let's move on to the NGO bill. You know, that also was another big story that happened, you know, this year. Actually, it's been happening for a couple of years. You know, so got to a crescendo this year because it's not the first time the bill came up. Apparently that came up 2 years ago, and then it came up again sometime last year, and then it brought it again this year. So it was a case of we have to pass this bill. So what exactly was behind it? Of course, all the people who had NGOs who were, you know, they thought that it was about them. Budgets actually felt that it was about them because they had been doing some unveiling according to them. So budgets felt actually, you know, actually had a budget, somebody, the PR person for budget on my show, and he was talking about it because he was like, you know, this was concentrated on people who did things like this because the government just wanted to make sure that they did not have that kind of you know, power anymore because they're saying you have to renew after every 2 years. Forget the fact that you're registered with any other person. They're saying the new law makes sure that you register every 2 years. So you have to go for renewal.
So it's
So they're saying-
keeping very close tabs.
So if I do what you don't like and I come back for renewal, what's
then
going to
you
happen?
can tell me sorry.
Do you
They're gonna
understand? So they
Your
felt that.
validity has expired.
Exactly. So they felt that was the issue. It wasn't about anything. Of course, you have the majority leader saying, no, it is because we have to have regulations, but the arguments are there already regulations. So they had the public hearing last week, I think, no, 2 weeks ago. Or was it last week? Sometime between 2 weeks ago and last week, actually.
Sometime in
And you
December.
had- And you had Bishop Kuka and all of them, they were there, and the bill got zero support.
Definitely.
Zero.
Zero.
What is that?
It was a
Zero
dead
No one's
arrival.
gonna sort of.
support. Already, of course, you had
to that,
Chidi Odikalu, who was a major speaker for that, you know, the former director for National Human Rights.
National Human
What's that? Something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So he was the one speaking. He actually made a video for it, and that was how people started talking about it, that, you know, you can't put out the NGO bill because it's going to stifle churches and mosques as well. But of course, the House of Rep is saying that it doesn't involve churches and mosques, that they are not going to be part of it. But they're saying at some point it's going to, you know, get to them as well. So it involves everybody. So right now, we don't know what's going to happen come 2018 when they resume plenary, whether they're going to go ahead with the NGO bill.
Even
or
though the
not.
public support.
I'm
was
sure.
not
Even though
I'm
there was
sure
a
it
public,
won't go
you know,
ahead.
So we'll see what
There'd be too much for
what plays out with that,
the people.
you know, where that is concerned. Okay.
All right, 9 minutes past the hour of 6, or 6 has napped. Oh, 6 done now.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got it. Yeah.
By
You
9
said it now.
minutes,
You
and
said
we're
it.
here on the big event. Yes, we're into the Saturday show on a Friday, because that's just what we're doing right here on the big event. We've covered Ikoyi Gate and the NGO bill. And before we move on, let's go back to the phone lines very quickly.
Okay.
Hello, Sadiq.
Good evening. Welcome to the big event.
Hello. Hello. How are you?
Happy Friday. Thank God it's Friday.
Oh, yes.
Thank God it's the last Friday.
My name is Alex.
Alex O, welcome to the program.
Yeah, I want to ask about this whistleblower. If you get such money, do you think you need to fly out of this country
Ah, yes.
for security reasons?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not even
How
just
much did you
security,
guys
just
get?
happiness.
I think it was about 400. The first tranche was about over 400.
Like 425.
Yeah, about over 400 million.
It was like half of the 860.
Over 400 million.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. If you travel that money, and at least if you're a very good citizen, and if you think of others like the charity homes, you divide that money into like 4 places.
And give it to charity.
Give to charity.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. I think,
Alex, you have a very
I
big
think,
heart.
Alex, you've brought up a very important question. I think we should ask ourselves. I think we should ask ourselves in the studio if we would donate money to charities.
Some.
I'll donate some, but not
donate
all.
some.
Do you know what my friend says? My friend always says charity begins at home.
Get such money.
She needs to start with
Oh,
herself.
you would do that?
But I want to ask one question. How long do you think will satisfy you in life that you think you don't
We don't know
need
yet.
can-
We don't know.
I can answer that
Nobody has the
question.
No amount is
No, me, I can answer that question. No, I don't need that much. 500 million, I'm done.
Which
Sadiq,
currency?
are you sure?
Naira.
Are
It
you
doesn't
sure?
even, I'm telling
Are
you,
sure?
500 million.
I don't know how much that is.
Naira. I'm done.
Okay, thank you, Alex. Thank you. We all have our different amounts and different currencies. Maybe we'll all group it. But it is 11 minutes gone past the hour of 6. We are still here on the big event. It's kind of extended, but we still need to end with a little bit of love. Yes, so the love doctor's coming up next. But Faith, we'll let you end with your last story after the break. Don't go anywhere. It is still Lagos Talks 91.3. We're unwinding, we're getting into the latter part of the big event. But thank you so much for joining us right here from 4 right down till whenever we finish. Keep it here because the love doctor's going to be talking all hookups, and I'm talking marriage. Addy, can I tell them that there's been marriage on the late edition?
Yeah, there has been.
So if you want to sow a seed into your life, your relationship life, come 2018, I implore you to be a part of the late edition. You know, it's flirty at 10:30. It's hookup session. What else is it? The love doctor, the suave doctor, all that good stuff. Faith, before we come back to you, Omona says, well done, great OAPs of Lagos Talks. Thank you. You guys are doing a great job. Kudos. P.S. What about the news of the statute governor, the statute commissioner for happiness and fulfillment, and Evans, the kidnapper? That kept releasing news daily. So once again, I'm just going to say it.
We can't cover all the
We can't cover it all. It has been an interesting year with remarkable stories from internet shattering weddings to stashes of money and everything in between. If we were here covering, if we were doing a recap of 2017, we would need like a week. We'd have to have a big event week of just back to back 2017.
Yeah.
We can only condense it. It's 52 weeks, 365 days, and Lord knows in Nigeria there's a story
every day.
There's more stories
There's a
than
story
days,
every day.
to be honest with you, sometimes. So Faith, let's round off with you. What's the final?
Let's wrap up with this big story. Maynard Gate. You know, one of the biggest stories. You know, the one of. I didn't know who approved. Oh no, I did not approve. Oh, who put him back?
Oh, I'm gonna confess.
Yeah,
I'll reveal this. I will reveal that.
And then say, okay, so reveal. You know,
I'm going to be assassinated.
Oh yeah, and then Mr. President, I can help you recover 3.3 billion. So you know,
trillion. He said 1 trillion.
It was trillion.
Yes,
and he said he had already helped recover 1 point something trillion.
No, it was 1 point something billion.
Billion,
and they were going to get. Was it 3 billion?
None
that
of
they were
the
going to
billions or trillions are in my bank account.
It's around the corner.
But you know what?
I do. It's around the corner.
It's around the corner.
It's around the corner.
You
got it right. No, but you know what is interesting now is this though. Every time, I mean, before now, you'll hear about billions. You know, you get you hear about millions. Now you hear about billions. Like, okay, so is that all?
Now we're stepping to trillions. We're getting
What's after trillions?
Oh my God.
Quadrillions.
Bagillions.
I don't know what that is. But
Nigeria will soon get there. Nigeria will soon get there.
Anyway, Maynard, of course, I mean, we know him. He was supposed to be the former head of the Presidential Task Force on Pension Reforms. That was under, of course, you know, the former presidents. And he was said to have been laid off in 2013. And then, you know, then there was the reemergence of Maynard.
Emergence indeed.
Where did he go?
The emergence
The return of
Maynard. Oh my God.
2018.
You know. And then Sadiq, you know, of course, they played out the issue of, you know, the different agencies played out again, different officials. Because you had the head of service and the chief of staff. That video actually went viral. You know,
of the verbal exchange. We don't know what they said.
We don't know what they said.
Heated argument.
A heated argument between both of them. And then, you know, you had the AGF say, oh, you know what, I'm going to reveal. And then he never revealed. And then, of course, he had Maynard also send a video, you know, to channel saying, actually, Mr. President, I need to have an audience with you personally.
Why?
So
did they really think that the president was going to answer that, dare I call, invite?
I don't know what he was thinking, but I guess he
You
thought.
got information
No,
to
no, no.
share. Why?
Not just information, money. This administration is all about recovering money.
I tire me.
So if
tire
the administration wants to reveal money.
I don't even know. It's just so annoying. I'm pissed.
But
Again, it should.
It was
If
about
you had
money.
information,
It's about
if you had information, you didn't have to blackmail everybody. Just share.
Or you know what? You can't just put it in pages of papers and everybody
You know the
gets
funny
it.
thing.
Mark
Yes.
Felton was the guy's name that did Watergate in America.
Nixon.
Yeah, Nixon administration. They put it in the papers. And
But that was due to very great
and that was
journalism by the
way
Washington
back
Post.
Exactly.
also.
So
and
at
yeah,
the
there's
end
something
of
very
the day,
different
now.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
there
movie
is.
about it
There is a
now.
movie
Yes,
about that,
yes,
yeah.
yes. So it has to be about people unearthing the stories to give us the real
The
story.
real deal.
But what we do know about Mania right now is that we don't know who brought him back because everybody's pushing the bulk.
Yeah.
And he was saying that the AJF actually traveled to come meet him
Exactly.
in Dubai,
And
and
he
they had a
claimed-
conversation.
Yeah.
And he had protection from the DSS. So right now, though, we don't know what the true story is. His family members are also complaining that they are after him.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that is why he had to run. So he's saying that he knows so many secrets that you know what. Heads will, you know what? They say that all the time in Nigeria. What I know, if I reveal it, heads will roll. Reveal.
Let
first.
reveal first.
Reveal it all.
Well, you know,
Yeah,
that's
It's too
it.
sensational.
That's the thing. As far as I'm concerned,
Sensationalizing.
it's how we've over
Yeah.
politicized. It's all
Yeah.
sensational. This thing should be a no-brainer. Imagine this happened in the abroad. Let's say in America, this guy will be in witness protection. They will
Exactly.
have gotten all the information, and by now they'll be
There'll be
gathering
prosecutions
information
going on,
to
Yeah.
prosecute. So why are we wasting
Exactly.
time? If you say you have the information, you have the DSS, bring this guy in, protect him, and get the information and give him a sort of deal.
Because they
That's-
said it
I
was
mean,
helping them, recover money.
Yeah.
So why was it even hard for them to admit
admit.
that we brought him in
You know what
for so
you know what?
reason?
I have
Why was it
theories
so hard?
about this.
Oh, I have some things I cannot.
I'm furious too.
Well, I don't have theories. I actually have information I can't share.
You're being just like him. No, but Faith, now you're being just like him. Like I have
I want an
So-
audience
but
with the
I can't
president.
share.
You want an audience with the president?
I do.
All right.
I do.
all
Breaking
right.
news.
Breaking
Once I
news.
get-
Faith was free for Hari.
And she didn't say shut
Once
up.
I
She
get,
did say shut up.
and I did not say shut up. No. Once I get
Just
an
said keep
audience,
quiet, yeah.
I will be able to. But I mean, so that's another story that we're looking. Of course, we're going to be following it in 2018.
Oh, yeah,
we'll see where
definitely.
that would lead to, if anything is going to come of it. Because we move away too quickly from stories. Have you noticed that?
That was
Well,
all
Because the reason why we move too quickly away from stories is because another story comes
Just
to
comes up.
overshadow
I think we're
that
inundated
one.
with information
we-
all the time.
Yeah, so
It's
to
the
follow
wrong
through,
information.
yeah. And
You
I
know,
think it's
so
tactics.
it's
I
hard.
absolutely believe
Of
it's
course,
Yeah.
tactics.
It's
It's
like
like,
this.
okay,
Diversionary
we need to stop
tactics.
talking about this and move on to that and let that one be on a back burner.
Because-
But it's not
Exactly.
even on a back burner. It's just gone.
And it's not
out of
resolved.
our
Gone with the
sight.
wind.
It's never
Well, it's not-
resolved.
yeah.
There are more questions than answers, but everybody just moves on to the next big story. Okay, so what's the next one happening?
To
And we
be
talk about
honest,
it,
it's
and we
almost
move
like
on.
binge watching series. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
I had this argument with Bob. We were talking about, Nigeria. They kept bringing this story and a story, and I'm like, look, haven't you realized that these stories are there to keep you occupied?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
The fact is, the more we keep following these stories, the less we focus on what's really important.
Exactly.
So I was like, hey, this man, how is he really affecting the price of Gary in your markets? He's like,
It's
well,
not.
I'm like, so why are you bothered?
I mean-
that is Mena coming to save you. It's
Aha.
Mena going to pay for your
Aha.
NEPA bill. So why do you care? What's really bothering you?
Mm.
And that's what happens in this country. We just keep getting bombarded with story after story.
And
It
then
is a
everybody runs away with,
Yeah,
you know.
it's like magic. You just
Yeah.
have to distract people here and then do what you want on the other
No, that's
side.
absolutely.
So there's probably a lot
Absolutely.
more going on that we should focus on. I mean, look at the
Yes.
issue of this fuel scarcity. We don't know what the story
And
is.
I think it might be
we don't
bad.
know whether it's the marketers, we don't know whether it's the government, because
That's
they keep
it.
passing the ball.
And that's my point.
You know,
and that's why I started.
And that is the one
today.
that affects
us.
us.
And that's my point. That's
You
what I'm like.
know,
We don't
that's
have
the one that
a
affects us.
mechanism to get the truth.
And follow
if
stories.
you look at
It's
every
true.
other part of the world,
We need an
it's either-
NBI.
No, it's, to be
Nigerian
honest,
Bureau of
it's-
Investigation.
Well, we have NIA and they keep hiding money.
No, but the thing is, whatever organization has to do this, it can't be from the government.
It
You
can't be
can't
from the
expect
government,
the
exactly.
government to self-care.
I think we also need, very independent journalism outfits that
Exactly.
are giving enough resources
to
and
get
they
to
can
the
be
bottom of the story.
independent, because
Yeah.
that's what happens in other climes.
Yeah.
The journalists, they are
The Fourth
independent. They are able to follow the stories and get the answers.
The
But
actual
here,
information.
I mean, like I said,
Yeah, there's more confusion
there's
than
there's
answers.
there's just a limit to what you can do and what you can find out. So let's just
All
leave
right,
it there.
let's
You know.
leave it there. We'll take a few calls for the reactions and then we'll move on to love. Let's end with a little bit of love. All you
little
need is love.
Yeah.
All right.
The love
Lagos
doctor.
Talks. Hello, Lagos Talks.
Hello, good evening, guys.
Hi, good evening. Who's calling?
Yes, my name is Emma. I'm calling you from Lekki.
All right, welcome to the big event.
Yes. Congratulations to big event.
Thank you.
Big event. Yes, I got a good evening.
Hey, Enag, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Yes, the question
I want to ask on this, on that issue of minor gate, is that most times, most often people insisted that minor should be called so that the what he said that he will reveal issues or secret that would have led
to recovering
make
money.
the recovery for the recovery of trillions. So the question I want to ask: if peradventure, if he happens to be called by Mr. President and given that protection, what difference is he going to make from the allegation that was laid against the president that he knows about his calling after he has been accused of some certain insanity? What difference is it going to make?
I don't totally understand the question.
What difference if minor should be called?
If minor should be called to reveal the secret.
Yes, and the security will be given to him. What difference is he going to make from the fact that there was allegation against the president that they know about his calling into office? And the second question is...
But what you're saying, you're presupposing that the president knew about it and no one has come out to say it.
That, what about that allegation? Is that not the biggest? Because I think the allegations that he's talking about are about other people, not necessarily
not
the
necessarily the president. So I'm a bit confused.
All right, but thank you so much for your...
What I'm saying is this. People were saying that the president himself knows about the calling.
That was a speculation. No one has confirmed that, so we can't bring that into a question if it's based on speculation.
And how does that even affect what he has to reveal, though?
Do you understand what we're saying, Enag? If it's a speculation, we can't really say that, it's part of the president because we don't have the actual facts. And you know what we do here? We're based on...
Yes, that is what... You know that it was Nigerians that were saying that Mr. President knows about it. And
actually, Maynard said it himself.
There are the people that are still saying that he should be given protection. That is why I'm asking, how are they sure that if...
Well, we can't answer your question, Enna, but thank you very much for
calling. Thank you for posing the question, though. Really do appreciate it.
Right. Faith, your belt is really loaded.
Trevor's hair.
Gosh. There's more drama in there than drama.
All right, guys.
Oh my God.
A little up, a little down, a little up, a little down. It's good. But sadly, that is the time that we have for the Saturday Breakfast Show. Faith, thank you very much for rehashing some of the big events, as controversial as they were and still are. Yes. And obviously leaves a bit of a taste for 2018. All right, we are going on a break, a musical break, and I hope that the song alludes to what is coming up next.
Sadiq in there.
I was clearing my throat.
Time for love on Friday night.
When Mario comes on the air, you hear all manner of voices.
And do you make people love one another?
I do not make people love one another because
what is your job? What is your oath?
Well, my job description is to create the platform where people can find
love. And have they on Lagos Talks 91.3?
Thankfully, I want to thank everyone who does participate on the late edition. There have been successful hookups.
Oh my God!
And by hookups we mean marriages.
Lagos Talks. Congratulations!
And that has been also splattered with, of course, people who got into relationships where they were jilted. So it's not all jolly.
And do they come saying like, I really broke my heart and it's your fault?
Yeah, no, they don't come. I say from the start. That hey, this person's not coming from me.
Yeah, disclaimer.
A disclaimer, right?
We at Lagos Talks are just creating the platform for you to be able to call in, express your desire, and a suitable person will hear you and connect with you.
So how many marriages?
Well, on the top of my head, I can remember at least 4.
Oh,
wow!
1 year. Are you joking?
That is amazing.
The most phenomenal is the one that called me on Wednesday night. His name is Robert. I hope he's listening. I don't know, maybe. His name is Robert. So he said he called me, because I remember his call. It was just about, we're in December, October, thereabout, November.
Wow.
So he called me, and he said that... He wanted to hook up and everything. So he called me the day before yesterday and said, I do remember my call for hookup, blah, blah. I can remember faintly, blah, blah, blah. He said he met a girl and it was love at first call.
Oh my God! At first call.
Yeah.
Oh my
How can you tell
God.
from the voice that you
Really?
love someone?
You know, Aura is blushing.
All right, really? You love love that
we
much.
need some
I love
Anthony
love.
Joshua in here.
God.
So
She
loves love. She
She
loves
loves
love.
love. So yeah.
Oh my God! How can you say I knew I loved you from the moment I heard your voice?
Oh, God.
All right, honestly,
I would just be
I
like,
don't
okay,
know
that's
what the
a
lady
little
sounds
cheesy.
like, but
Yeah.
Robert sounded like
You know.
someone intelligent. You know, he
I
sounded
think, I
intelligent.
personally think that Robert didn't want to sign out of 2017 without getting married.
Well, they are not married yet.
Or
Yeah, they're
finding.
partners.
But
yeah.
you know, he told me that as of Wednesday when he was speaking with me over the Christmas period,
Yeah.
he went to her
family.
family.
Oh my God.
And
He's a fast one.
yeah, he did a fast one.
When you know, you know. No,
You
when
know,
you know, you know.
like he
He's
was
really
like,
ready for
to all the men
marriage.
out there, please know, and to all the women out there,
Make sure he
and
knows.
I'm going to.
Be
I'm going
sure.
to. Okay, let me not get in there. So what we're
yeah.
talking about the guy.
So
Right?
yeah, Robert.
So Robert now he went to the girls' parents and they gave him their blessing.
Oh.
So he's saying that
Wow.
but hopefully 2018 will be their year.
And you're
And he
invited.
insisted
That you
That you
that
come.
I'll be there.
You better be there.
Hey,
You
that's what-
better be
How
there.
about
Yeah,
that?
I told him that he should send me the schedule for the wedding and everything, so they're gonna do
I
that.
I think you'll be allowed to go, being that you're
I've
the
got
reason.
my
You have
agbada
to
ready.
give it to
I think I have room for +1, just in case you want to eat. +4, like Lord, yeah.
Lagos tours.
All right, so
But that's
that's one of the
fantastic.
most
Yeah.
remarkable stories I can
Fantastic.
remember right now.
Yeah.
There are several others.
Yeah, so talk to us about the late edition
People
because
who have
yeah.
been on the show. The late edition pretty much is, it's just where love happens in every form of it. I'm telling you,
That's
people,
what
I'm
he
telling
said.
you. That's why they call me
That's what
the
he-
suave man with
Oh,
the
yeah.
smooth
Smooth
voice.
voice.
Exactly.
Andrew, you're really coining that, aren't you?
Oh yeah, that's me.
It's going to start trending.
Yes,
so
so
I do
that's,
hashtag
Suave man,
Suave
smooth
man,
voice.
smooth voice.
Okay.
So on the late edition, the Flirty at 10:30 show really has been very phenomenal. There's been a lot of change in the show processes because before now we used to have phone numbers on the show and a lot of people would call me and say, Andrew, I give someone my phone number and they were calling my life. I had someone.
looking for?
People did not really take that lightly. So we had to switch
Really?
tactics,
Okay.
and now people use their emails
Yeah,
and
much
Facebook.
better,
So
much
you
better.
are the one who use your prerogative to decide that
If you want to give the person your
this
number.
person is
Yeah.
worthy of my number or not. So yeah, and it's been really, really nice. We've seen better control,
Exactly.
and the fallouts are not as much as when the phone numbers were out.
But Andrew, let me ask you though.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
feel any sort of responsibility for these couples?
The only responsibility I feel, is the responsibility of them having made the right choice because
Okay.
everything
Yeah, that's nice.
everything hinges on that.
Yeah.
If you make the right choice, you've saved yourself at least 50% of the trouble you will go through in the relationship. Of course, you'll still need to practice good behavior, but at least just making the right choice initially just
It's
cuts
enough.
away.
Do
a
they
lot
call
of
you for
people.
counseling? Like
Oh,
I was gonna
sure.
say,
on Pillow
wow.
Talk. On Pillow Talk, we do a
Love
lot of
doctor.
that.
Yeah.
There's several. And so many I can't really just recount them all. People who calling in and telling me that they're pregnant for their.
This sounds like confession.
pregnant for?
They're pregnant for the
Finish,
guy.
finish.
No, not for me. Oh,
I didn't say for you. Go ahead.
you need to sing face on this. Like, pointing at me and like.
I said finish. I didn't say.
Did we just step into confession?
No. Like they
Sure.
pregnant for the boy,
Yeah.
the man, sorry,
Okay.
and then the man is not taking responsibility for it, and they are now left to get into being single mothers, and the relationship is now looking sour. Some of them call me to tell me they found their boyfriends cheating on them, and what should they do? The people who have tried this particular one, I'll never forget. The guy has been trying to get the girl to like him for like aeons. He's done everything, been there, done that. I was like, dude, go to where you are celebrated, not where you're tolerated.
Amen. One more time.
Because if you
One more time.
if you
One more
can
time.
if you
That's 2 nuggets from you.
Oh,
It's
two
alright.
nuggets?
I'm down.
Okay, you
I'm down.
counting it. So, because if you make the
Yes,
person, if you
when you're
force the person or
celebrated.
cajole the person to get into the relationship with you, like they're just managing you, what happens
Yeah.
the day that tolerance runs out? They'll be like, hey,
Or the day the real person
just
comes
look up,
out.
or the real
you
person that
know?
they like comes
So,
around.
Yeah.
They'll not be like, so wait, sorry, what was I doing?
You were just wasting time.
You just
The passing
wait,
time.
So a
wait,
place
like,
warmer,
Time.
basically.
like a
Yeah.
bench warmer, and then
Yeah.
you're gonna have your heart broken in the
Wow.
long run. So yeah, I just tell people that, and a lot of people call in. It's been fun, and recently a new synergy happened on Pillow Talk. We now have the Break or Makeup show come in on Pillow Talk on Wednesday night. So that's fantastic.
Well, what is that
as
about?
well. So they're an independent organization. They have a platform on Instagram. So we've made
Oh
a hybrid
yeah,
on
okay,
Pillow Talk,
okay,
and now
okay.
they bring in stories, incredible stories.
Okay.
Yesterday on
I
Wednesday.
think I know that.
I know
Yeah,
the break
on-
on makeup on
on-
Instagram.
nice.
Yes.
On Wednesday,
Yeah.
the story that came on board, the woman tried to zip, the woman who sent in a story tried to zip her husband's younger brother's fly.
Huh?
Why was she
One more
trying
time?
to zip it?
Yeah,
She said
so
one more time.
so they all went to the village for
Repeat.
Christmas,
Uh-huh.
right? And they were having breakfast, and he had pounded yam on his fingers.
Oh.
So she sacked.
Why is that
at a
an
position-
understandable thing?
Wait,
to
wait,
do?
wait, wait. Slow
It
down.
isn't.
Slow
Wash your hands.
No. So she had pounded. He had pounded on his fingers. So she saw that his zipper was down, and
Your zipper's down. When you're done eating, zip up.
no,
Wash your
zipper's
hands and
down,
do it.
Thank
and etc. was obviously in view. So
Oh.
she motioned to him and said, "Your zipper's
Excuse
down,
me,
and
package the
etc.
package,
is
man.
view."
And the guy said, I have soup on
And
my
he said,
hand.
"I have food in my hands. Could you be kind enough?"
Wow, individual.
Could you be kind
I'm
enough?
sorry, I suspect that guy.
I'm being polite,
Oh
of course.
my God.
That
so,
guy.
so he asked her to help him zip his zipper, and she did.
Zip his
Zip his
zipper.
zipper.
And her husband came in at that moment and saw her zipping the
In a
zipper.
very
Like,
compromising-
"Well, what are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, no, your brother just asked me to zip the zipper."
No, there are some things that you just
That don't make any
yeah,
sense.
so-
And you
Why
do
did
not
she
zip
do
your
it?
brother-in-law's.
from there.
Exactly.
It's innocent,
You don't zip
though.
his
It was-
life.
well,
for
but
us.
it's innocent.
It is innocent, but it's inappropriate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, it is.
Inappropriate.
There are different ways that they could have avoided
Yeah,
the
definitely,
the
that
the
situation.
goody show.
Yeah.
He could have turned around.
I'm just saying
She
that
could
there
have
are
closed her
moments.
eyes.
Sometimes
She could have even left the place, you know,
Yeah,
not even
it's
sitting and clean up and
inappropriate.
then
True,
zip
true.
It's
Anyway.
just like, for
But
instance,
I'm
water,
saying that-
Let
water
me finish
falling on her
the
blouse.
story. So husband calls her into the room. I didn't even know I was going to talk about all this. The husband calls her into the room and gives her 2 dirty slaps, you know. and tells her
So it now went to domestic
that went to
violence.
domestic violence.
So
Basically.
then from there,
wrong.
he tells her
Basically.
to pack a load, go back to Lagos.
See what I'm saying? That's just
And,
too much, man. Come on.
The marriage is off. So of course
See?
she
Ah,
called
no,
and she was
no.
like, "Please, what do I do? What do we do?" And then the husband says, "Well, he was angry because that was not the first time he's seen her flirt with his younger brother."
Finish.
So
And
see,
so
it's
Still
not-
don't
so
explain the
that-
slaps though.
So
but
yeah,
hey.
it doesn't explain
Yeah, it
the
doesn't
slap.
explain
So
the
we
slap.
had to now come in and tell them that, dude, you didn't have to beat her, of
Yeah,
course. Yeah,
one,
2 wrongs don't make a right.
of
And
course.
it shows they had major dysfunctional trust issues before that.
Exactly.
Communication was because I mean he just erupted into slapping
That's
her.
what I'm
I
saying.
mean,
That
It's
that-
wrong.
If those two people had the real trust, then that should not
That's
be an
right.
issue. That's my
You
point.
know, they should have even
That
had a
even if no
conversation
matter
about
what,
Very
it's something
You know
you
what?
laugh
Like,
You know what? I can
yeah.
understand they will not have an
Exactly.
issue, but would the husband have his reservations
Mhm.
about it? Yes. You
Yeah.
could say I don't
Yeah.
like it. It doesn't mean
I'm
that
thinking
it
it's
must lead to
inappropriate
an
and you have to
issue.
That's what I'm
slice
saying.
it.
Yeah.
It's inappropriate though.
It's
She
ina-
should
yeah,
not
yeah.
have
It shouldn't
done it.
happen.
But we are human beings. We are not perfect. People make mistakes.
No,
That guy
definitely.
cannot be the perfect epitome of guyness. I'm sure there are situations where he's been with her, and it's been
Which
appropriate,
is
but it
true.
doesn't.
Which
that's
is-
why
but
I'm
it
like,
just
it's
shows
the-
there's no
it's the
trust in their
level-
relationship.
Exactly,
That's
it's
it,
the
the
level
trust
of
level
understanding. That's
that
what I'm
they
like.
had.
Oh yeah,
So they had a
the
whole
level
lot
of
coming out.
trust. That then we can understand why. Okay,
Then of course
why
the
the
woman.
marriage is over because
Just
they
like
didn't
that.
have
Exactly.
a certain level of
That's
trust.
what I'm saying.
However,
That's
even if you
much.
trust your better half, there are things that you might not like him doing.
And that's
Yeah,
like it's
sure.
a different.
No,
and
of
you
course,
talk
the
Yeah,
woman,
about
the
and you
woman,
talk
we
about it. You
explicitly
say, I
said
don't
the
like
woman
it.
should not have zipped the zipper.
Yeah, first thing.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again,
Just imagine
he's
Aura
saying
telling
that
someone to help
always
her
flirted.
adjust her.
Or maybe water poured on her bra and then
It's
the
a-
brother is trying to help
Your
her.
Yeah,
tissue,
and then
your
help me
tissues
clean
are
my
all
way.
sorry.
Well, you know,
Champagne
the
on
reason-
your,
the-
champagne
no,
on
you
your
know the
dress.
funny thing, the reason I brought this up is because we never
Been in
know-
that situation.
No, I've been in a situation. You know one of those.
Shady.
Let me explain, please, before before you put me in trouble.
Confession.
I think
No.
we've moved into confession.
No, it's not a confession. But basically, I'm just saying that there's situations, that walking situation where people walk into something and it looks like
I know.
Situations can be very hard
I've
to
been
come
in
out
one
of.
and there was
That's the
nothing
worst.
even
You
I
couldn't
could
explain
say.
it.
You just
I couldn't explain. I was like,
I never experienced.
yeah, you know what? It's just, okay, complain. So afterwards,
So that was
That's
just,
what-
just
that's
one
what
of
I'm
so
coming
many stories that we
Yeah.
have on the Pillow Talk. But the side where I want to tickle y'all on.
Tickle y'all
Yeah, I want to tickle y'all on this.
Well, tickle
So,
y'all,
Side chick issues have been major
Oh,
stories all through
yes,
2017.
side chick.
So I want to hear your opinion, and of course I've done this on the show, my show, but I just want to hear your opinion. So side chick, who or what is to blame? Do you think it's the men to blame, or the women to blame, or it's just pure greed?
Greed.
Greed.
Do you think it's greed?
Iffy?
I think it's greed. Okay, see, this is how we're going to take a look at this particular
All
one.
right now.
Because it's just like, you know how they say stealing. I don't want to use the case of rape because that's a very sensitive topic. But stealing, for instance, they say to you, if you did not drive your Lamborghini to Ajegunle, they wouldn't have stolen from you. You should have known where you were going to. Do you understand? Now, yes, it's greed coming from the path of the man, of course, because there's no
Your cake and you
reason
wanna eat it.
whatsoever for you to cheat or have a side chick.
Oh, yes, you
Now,
do.
are there times when maybe the relationship or the marriage sort of waxes cold that leads to the man looking outside
We
of the
shouldn't
marriage?
lead.
That's what I'm
Looking at the man.
So that question
I'm
is,
saying.
we have to break it into.
Assume this the man
When I
already.
say lead, you
Well, I
know,
said side
like
chick.
I said,
It's that side chick.
Chick,
so-
chick,
it's side chick, not side man.
Not side,
Like
not
I
side.
said,
Yeah.
you know, it's he has no reason. He has no reason whatsoever. I mean, he can never be justified for doing that.
Yeah.
But if you sit certain couples down and you are probably counseling them and you try and get to the root of the problem, there might be times when the husband will say, "Oh, but we stopped having sex," or she started wearing wrapper, or she started doing
or
this,
she
she
wasn't
started
taking
doing
care
Oh,
of
her hair.
her hair is a certain way, but that's not a reason.
not
That
a
doesn't
reason. Never a
justify.
reason. It's not an
So
excuse.
that's
It's
a
not
very
an
that's quite
excuse.
dicey. But if you look at it from different angles, you might get the man saying certain things like that. It got to a point in the
So
relationship.
you're saying that from your point of view, sometimes dissatisfaction makes the man want to look
Get a
for
side
alternatives.
sometimes though,
Even
I
though
think-
it
sometimes
is
not.
Okay, so Faith,
the
what
right
do you
thing.
think?
I think, the side chick thing is this. All of them are. All right. They're all adults, right? So if you decided to have a side chick and the girl decided to date you, you chose to do so. The girl chose to do so. Not because something is not good, because if your relationship isn't good enough, you'll sit down and fix it. As opposed to trying to get something from the outside. So it's not about your relationship not being good enough. It's because you just want more.
So that's
You want
greed.
something.
So that's
greed,
greed.
yeah.
Exactly.
You want something
And the
like-
girl
Just
as well.
something like-
And the girl as well. And for the girl, I would say this, the girls who are the side chicks, sometimes it is I kind of like just fell in love with a married man in college or something.
Or I
but
don't
most
want the
of,
baggage
but most
kind of
of the
thing.
I don't
time,
want to work for men.
most of the time, it is because we also have a society that's, sort of like just doesn't care how you make your money as long as you make it. And you know what? Sugar daddy's gonna pay up. So you know what?
are they now?
I'm just saying that at the end of the day, that's what a lot of girls are buying into that. So a lot of girls are buying into the side chick thing because even if you go on Instagram and somebody talks about a woman dating a married man, everybody's like, leave her alone. What is your problem? The way everybody reacts to it is almost like,
I mean, let
we've
he who is
accepted
without
it. It is
sin
now
cast the
normal.
first
So sort of. So a lot of women actually
But-
know that their husbands have side chicks, but they're like, yeah, it's coming home to me at the end of the. I don't know why I do that.
I'm really.
But I don't know why we
It's
do
a
that.
term.
Sadiq, what
Like
do you
that.
think? Sadiq, what do you think?
Man,
From a point of view of a guy.
As far as I'm concerned, both parties are wrong.
Yeah.
And me, I'm not even going to lie. I'm a very honest person. Yeah. I've been the other guy. I've been the side guy for a long time.
Hey!
I'm telling you that.
Did
for
you
a
enjoy
fact.
being the side guy?
Hell yeah.
Of course he did.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I always come
Sadiq,
with
the side guy.
Yeah.
I'm not voting for you any longer.
No, but the
We're
cut
not
me
we're
out.
still voting though.
No, but the funny thing
Confessions.
is the whole thing of, at least from the side guy angle, that's why I was like, why are we focusing on it? Because it works both ways. That trust me, in this society, we focus on the men. You have no idea how women cheat.
Oh, wait, no.
No, we
I
do
know.
actually, but we don't say it. We know
But
that
don't
women
focus,
cheat,
we
but
don't
not as
focus
much as
on
men,
it.
though.
That's the thing. I feel both parties obviously are wrong. If you're a man in a relationship, if you're not happy, then get out.
Please.
Simple. If it's doing you like that, then move.
Yeah.
But the women and the girls as well. Let me give you an example. I've met girls, and not one, not two, not three, if I tell you up to 50 girls who have said they'd rather meet a married man.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. In Lagos. In fact, I have
I've heard
friends that have told me that, look, if you're looking for girls in Lagos, put on a wedding ring. People will come
It's gonna be
after
so
you.
easy to get a
Well,
girl.
So
I
that's
get
what
a
I'm
lot
saying
of
in
coming
this.
at.
Exactly. I'm not even kidding. And it works. I have a friend who's married. He doesn't wear his ring. Why? Because he gets stressed.
To be
And
honest,
his wife
a lot of
understands. So
married men
I don't
actually
even
think they're
blame
more
Wait,
the
hold
men.
on. He gets
Wait,
stressed
wait,
when he
wait.
wears his
telling
ring.
you.
Yes.
And when he doesn't
Too
wear
many
his ring,
girls.
the girls don't
Yeah,
come.
the girls don't come.
Oh my God.
I'm
There's
telling
something
you.
that comes with
That's a reverse.
having a wife.
That's what I'm telling
Do you
you.
understand? It's
You're
something
set
that
up.
comes, you're set up.
That's the thing. And basically, it means that the guy can take care of a woman. He can
Yes,
take care of a
yes.
family.
Like
So they're
he
looking
does.
for
The
the
fact that the
ready
woman
man.
is staying with him, it means that there's something
There's
about
something
him.
that you can
And then
see.
his emotional
attractive.
baggage goes to his wife,
All
and
right.
then he gives you the good stuff.
But that,
Adu, thanks
but
for
that
this
doesn't make
controversial big event
So
topic.
you have
Shall
had
we-
a taste of what I go through.
Yeah, shall we go to the phone line?
Yes, let's go.
And don't forget that you can join the conversation. This is the last of it. I will wrap up with just the highlights. We'll just give a good brief down of all the highlights. But for now, give us a call. 0809 191 3913, 0809 222 0913, and 0809 234 5913. Lagos Talks. Okay. Lagos Talks.
Hello.
Hello, good evening. Could you turn down your radio, please?
Good evening.
Evening.
Hi, who's
Welcome to
calling?
the event.
My name is man from where
How old are you?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Ah.
Sorry, that call
Thank
was compromised.
All right, but you can definitely tweet in to our handle at Lagos Talks 913. Remember, the hashtag is the big event 913. So this is what you have to deal with at night.
Yeah, this is what I have to deal with every day.
I
Well, that's why you're the love doctor.
Yeah, the call was compromised.
Compromise. What kind of English is that?
It was compromised.
Let's go back to the phone lines. Lagos Talks. Lagos Talks.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, Titty Lockwell. Welcome back.
Oh, hey, you are there, Professor. Good evening.
Listen, you
All the Lagos Talks
Oh, is it
presenters
fake,
are-
Professor?
Well, if we didn't talk about sharp corner dance.
One corner.
Yes, that happened
He's
as
thinking
well.
about something else.
They didn't talk about the dead woman that was pounding yam.
Whoa.
Huh?
Oh, yes, that's well,
Oh,
that
which was that?
in Ghana. You know how they do like
No, I don't
the
know how
lying
they
in
do.
Where
state?
did that start?
What they did was that because she was a caterer, they sat her up.
Hey, alright.
wow.
We are not talking about the biggest event so far. The emergence of Donald Trump.
That was last year.
Well, it was January the 20th.
He
He was swearing in January.
You and I were in the studio
Yeah.
for
He was
12
swearing in
hours.
January.
I know yourself and Faith were not happy.
Along with half of America, yeah, and the world.
And the world.
And the world?
So please just touch on that. To
We're somewhat out of time. No, well,
So
we
we're kinda like we're
will.
able to
In
touch
our own way,
international
we
stories.
will. Don't worry, we will. We will. We'll do the best that we can.
can.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lagos Talks.
Yeah, Lagos Talk. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, Adu. Hi, everyone in the house.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Adu, this is Ijoma from Imo State. Adu, Ijoma is in love.
Spread it.
Yes.
Hey, Joma, tell us your love. Did Adu hook you up?
Yes.
What's his name?
Adu, do you remember Ijoma?
Yes, I do. I remember you.
Yes, I'm in love with a handsome bobo.
Okay, congratulations to you. Okay.
So we hope something should come out from it better next year.
This is so
Amen.
This is so
nice.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Choma,
I'm
for
so
calling.
in
I
love.
appreciate it.
Thank you,
This
Joma.
in the house, you can feel,
Yes. I have the anointing.
I think I should don't ever do that again.
Oh my God.
Ever. Okay, let's take another call. Lagos Talks.
Oh my God.
Hello, Lagos Talks.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
loud
I
and
can.
clear.
Adu, you have a powerful ministry.
Hey!
We need to make it happen in 2018.
We gotta.
Are
you looking for lunch? That's what Lisa.
International Ministries.
I hope I won't have to pay taxes.
Shop International
Ministries.
Ministries.
All right, I think I'll look into it.
Lagos Talks.
Bring the card.
Lagos Talks.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, hello, good evening.
How are you?
I'm good. Faith Adu.
Hi.
Iffy Sadiq.
You'll be part of the campaign slogan for 2019.
Sharp ministry.
Is it Shop
Shop marriage ministry.
Yeah, see, the PDP could not do this now, so APC has done it. So your ministry will move.
Amen.
How's it?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. This issue with the side chick, wow.
Yeah.
The nice angle to hear do was the side guy.
No, it was Sadiq that was the side guy.
Sadiq was the side
Don't
guy.
put Adu in trouble.
They
Oh.
crush over him.
Over Adu.
Adu.
My cutlass too.
His wife has a crush on you.
Oh.
Let me show you my cutlass. I think I have a sense to the name now.
Very good.
I think
Very
I'm the
good.
side guy.
All
right.
But Sadiq, there was the side guy.
It was Sadiq.
Yeah,
Sadiq
you
of
don't,
the
you don't
early
really,
edition.
you don't
Not
really have to-
Adu, not
you really don't have to
On the
talk.
early edition, yes.
You don't
All right,
have
so
to-
on Twitter, Tosin says side chick is as a result of greed on both sides. Sometimes some relationships used to be bad, but that doesn't justify having side chicks. If your relationship is bad, try and think of a solution, and the solution is not having side chicks.
Yeah.
Dave says, wow, you guys are the best, thank you. Joseph Educate says, I like the sound of sharp marriage ministry.
Totally.
Leggy! Andrew Welljoy. Yeah.
Shop marriage ministry is coming up.
2018. All right, well, guys, believe it or not, although we've come to the end of the road, till I can't let go. It's so natural. You belong to us. I belong to you. I like that.
I love it.
All of us here on Lagos Talks 91.3, we have the biggest thank you to say. I mean, I'm just going to say from Alex Sekunda-Degbe to Zainab and everybody in between. That's because that's an A and a Z, but I'm sure we all want to do our shout outs. So Iffy, I'm sure you have shout outs that you want to make to us. Or just
Shout out to everyone, you know.
to all of you.
I can't start calling names.
We can't.
Guys, thank you
We
so
love
much.
you all.
God bless
Thank you for being loyal fans
Yes.
of Lagos Talks 91.3 from the early edition to the football show to everything. And so we'll just go round